Everybody come in, everybody to the party. We're online, online, we're online. Step into the night where all the stars are bright. We're back again to do this, and we're gonna do it right. Something wild's in the air, I just know it. Now we're moving quicker, keeping on track. And once we hit the scene, there's no turning back. Gonna bring that feeling, gonna feel the heat. Online is in town and we can't be beat. We come alive, under the neon glow. It's the party of a lifetime. The signal's strong, can you feel it in the flow? It's the party of your lifetime. Now that you can see, there ain't no stopping me. The city's on 11, it's 2003. Something big is coming, but it's just the beginning. Just the beginning. Neon lights flicker, DJ spins the track. Boys are in sync and there's no turning back. Now that you're invested, we're turning up the heat. Everybody sing together on the 1, 2, 3. We come alive, moving under the neon glow. It's the party of your lifetime. The signal's strong, can you feel it in the flow? It's the party of your lifetime. Floating higher as the stars align. Here on the edge of 1999. All systems on, win this moment like you never known. Join us, embrace us, don't ever erase us. 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 Stop! Online's in the house to ring the party of your lifetime. We come alive, moving under the neon glow. It's the party of your lifetime. The signal's strong, can you feel it in the flow? It's the party of your lifetime. We come to life, we come to life on the floor. This feeling's what we came for. The beat is strong, we can feel it in the flow. It's the party of your lifetime. Party of your lifetime. The party of your lifetime. Everybody come in, everybody to the party. We're online, online, we're online.
I did this. There we go. Hi, chat. It's fine.
Oh, thank you, chat, for letting me know that he's muted on my end. Let me take care of that. No. Akko got it. I didn't get it. That's fine.
See, this is why I tell him he should stay as the head mod sometimes. Anyway, chat, happy Sunday.
There's stuff, chat. It's fine. Get the stuff out the way early.
Welcome to Dogwave, the only stream where we talk about video games, news, and occasionally put in our own personal opinions. This week is a little bit big. We got the Switch 2 that finally came out, and there is some craziness that's going on around it.
Yeah,
We've also got the new game trailers that have come out over the last couple of days, and I have kind of intentionally left myself blank on all of those because I wanted to be disappointed live.
Oh, wait, so we're going to be live? Because, I mean, I've seen a bunch of these trailers already, but this will be your first time seeing some of them?
Some of them, yes. I don't think I have seen... some of people have told me, like, prices for games, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of dumb. But, like, beyond all that, I have not seen really any of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm imagining you've seen all of them already, or most of them.
The ones so State of Play was earlier this week. I watched that live, and then we did. Then there was Summer Games Fest. I didn't watch the covers, the covers of Summer Games Fest today because I was streaming. But Friday and Saturday, absolutely. I added so many to my wish list. Some I've got very strong negative thoughts on. It's but yeah. I did a lot of Summer Game Fest coverage on various channels the last few days.
Yeah.
Yeah. I covered the State of Play, Summer Game Fest, and the Xbox Showcase this morning.
See, I missed the Xbox Showcase, but yesterday's Indie Showcase, holy shit. Anyway, we'll wait. Anyway,
was it that good? I've heard mixed things.
It was probably better than the actual showcase, or better than full Summer Game Fest.
Really?
Not only that, but like the Indie Showcase had one particular game that dwarfed everything for me. Like literally anything showed off. It was, oh my god. But I'll wait.
Fair enough. Well, before we get real too serious into it, Tom, how was your week? What did you do this week?
What did I do this week? So Wednesday, we obviously did Repo.
Mm-hmm.
Friday, typically because I do Final Fantasy 6 on Fridays. This week we did Summer Game Fest instead. And then yesterday was Helldivers. And then Baldur's Gate last night, which for anyone who's at my stream last night, you would know that we only had like an hour and a half stream.
Yeah, because your computer died, right?
Yeah, my computer had the biggest heart attack it's ever had last night.
Mm-hmm.
It's fixed now, at least I think. It hasn't misbehaved.
That's good.
So,
that's good.
We'll see
Because
what's fixed.
you said, did you say that you were duo streaming, or are you still just using one computer right now?
I'm still using one computer. The problem is, because I use a USB microphone, if I want to use this on my other PC, I have to unplug it from my main PC and plug it into my laptop.
Right.
Which is a little bit of a pain.
You just need a very cool mixer like I do so that it can interact with both computers.
I do.
I don't know. Leon, do you duo stream, or do you just use one computer for your stuff?
Well, what do you mean use one computer? Like I thought most people use just one computer.
So, and I do this mostly because models kind of eat up a lot of resources along with OBS. I use two computers. One streams and one does everything else with the functions of streaming. So, I bought basically.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, I just use one computer. Like, well, I mean, I have a laptop for like if I'm traveling. Like when we did the live from Las Vegas stuff, I did use my travel laptop and whatnot. But no, I just use one computer when I stream.
Yeah. It's one of those things where you only really should do it if you are running such high intensive games on your computer and your computer can't handle it.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the only reason why I do it is because I run VTube Studio, and VTube Studio eats like a good chunk of your computer's CPU at a time. And since it always needs to be active, I just like, you know what? Spend $1,000, get a PC that's good enough just to do OBS and a model, and there you go. And the hardest part is getting the mixer to go.
Well, and I've been toying with the idea of a lot of people told me to do this. A lot of VTubers told me to do this. Like I'm toying with the idea of getting a VTuber model for when I don't want to show off. Like for example, I'm wearing a beanie right now. Why? Because I'm a dirty Asmongold looking motherfucker who hasn't washed my hair. And so it's like, well, I'm not gonna show off that greasy mess on stream. Wear a beanie.
Right.
But like if there's ever days like, oh, you look like an absolute fucking slob. Model.
Fair.
Well, for me, that's pretty much every single day. But I totally understand that. I am curious, since you're thinking about a model, what kind of like what ideas are you thinking for a model here? Like where are you going with that?
I would just want to do like an anime-ified version of myself, like maybe with some cyberpunk aesthetic or something like that, because that's my favorite aesthetic. But in general, it's like
Based.
the reason. So I love having VTubers on my show. I love streaming with VTubers, but I'm a very naturally expressive person. If you haven't noticed, like voice inflection, eye movements, I talk my hands constantly. When I went to Vegas for like the big YouTuber meetup and whatnot, the comment I got the most was, "Oh, you're like this all the time." Like people didn't realize that this isn't a put on or anything. I'm literally just this fucking annoying and high energy in my real life, and there's nothing about me in my videos. It's fake. And so since I'm naturally such an expressive person, I always worry that something will get lost in a model. And so yeah, that's that's why I'm always on camera, things to that effect, because I think there's a lot goes into seeing facial features, facial expressions, hand movements, the whole nine. And I do worry about that being lost in a model. But so I would want my model just to be an anime-ified version of myself.
Right. I will say, if you want something that moves your arms, because like the 2D live casting is just barely getting tracking movements for hands and feet. Like I saw somebody the other day showing off that they literally have full body tracking for a 2D model, which is unheard of and unseen because it requires quite a lot of programming to get the 2D picture to move with all those different cuts that go into the drawing. But if you want something that like allows you to move your arms, my recommendation is a 3D model with hand tracking, which hand tracking is expensive.
Lofty had back in the day, Lofty Pixels. The 3D is the way that I would probably go.
It definitely, it's like extremely expressive. Temp, what did you just send me?
That is my streaming account. I'm going to be putting our news up on that. So you need to invite that account.
Okay. Thank you. My apologies. Like, you got my ADHD got me right there for a moment. No, but it's just like if you want to like have long expressive movement, the 3D model, you may lose a little bit in the facial expressions, just a little bit, unless you get very detailed iPhone tracking. But other than that,
which I'm not gonna do. I refuse to buy anything Apple related unless I like buy it like off a third party, like buy it from somebody directly or like from a used store or something like that. But yeah, no, I ain't giving Apple money directly.
Absolutely.
I'm exactly the same way. The only reason why I suggest Apple is Apple has the best cameras for a lot of facial tracking.
That's what I've heard from other VTubers. Yeah.
So that would be really the only reason for you to go with an iPhone, but I don't even have one yet. And what I use right now is I use an Elgato camera, and it's like a 2K camera, not $2,000, but like 2K in the wording, I guess. I don't know what makes that better, but it's like it's a 2K Elgato camera, and I want to say it does pretty good. I've talked to the Live 2D riggers, and they tell me that really there is not much of a difference if you program it extremely well. So, anyway, that's really cool. When you do decide to get a model, I would very much like to see it, because I do think this cyberpunk aesthetic is really good. My original model, actually, like, I'd say that the jacket is probably the most cyberpunk part of it, but it definitely is my favorite aesthetic in the world. Probably next to, what's that one called? It's like cyberpunk, but it's not cyberpunk.
Steampunk?
Steampunk, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, steampunk's good. It's like I've always had a fascination with cyberpunk, just as a genre from a very early age. Like I'm talking about in the mid '90s, and so it's just stuck with me my whole life. So if I could be some sort of idealized version of myself, it'd be one in a dilapidated future where somehow I'm struggling to survive technologically.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I think that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. What do I mean by riggers? Well, chat, you know what I mean by that. A rigger is somebody that rigs a live 2D model, takes the cut up of the drawing, and then turns it into a moving model.
Or it is Scooby-Doo talking about Harlem.
Could be that too, I guess.
It's not inaccurate.
Oh my god, it's not inaccurate. No, it just depends on the day.
I should have asked in advance if this is an R-rated stream or not, because holy shit, I'm sorry.
It is. No, it totally is.
Oh, thank
it
God.
Totally is. I try to avoid the very, very harsh slurs, unless there are black people that decide to say them themselves on screen. But otherwise,
Right? No, I'm it's like I will almost never say those slurs. My favorite slur that I will say on my stream though, and I say it every stream, is the Pride Month slur that rhymes with fly larvae.
okay, no, fair enough. No, I mean, like, you can say retard
I won't do that
all
on
you
your show.
want.
I don't use that on other people's shows.
No, that's fair. Now, you can scream retard as much as you want. I give everybody the pass for that. That's totally fine. But yeah, like, in general, like, just because YouTube is YouTube, people are getting demonetized left and right. In the game sphere right now, it seems. We'll just keep it chill for now, I guess. But anyway, do you guys want to talk about the Switch and its kind of rocky release or semi-rocky?
So, do we want to start with probably the saddest of all the news for about the Switch news so
Yes.
far?
Yes, we can. Here, let me
So-
switch over real quickly.
The voice actor for Peach found out the day before the Switch launched that she was being replaced.
How old is she? She must be like in her 50s or 60s. 'Cause
yeah,
this has
no,
been
she-
like almost 2 decades.
Yeah, she's been voicing Peach for, I think someone said 18 years.
That's dedication.
It is.
I mean, like, Mario's getting replaced too. So
Yeah.
I
Well,
think
to be
they're
fair,
just
they-
slowly
they
gonna
gave
get
her-
it.
Mario got replaced already. It was like the end of 2023, middle of 2024, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
something
gave
like
Charles
that.
Martinet a pretty wide buffer, and he still works with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I met Charles Martinet about 2-ish years ago. Actually, I've got this like super amazing Smash Bros. GameCube, and
Oh
he
my gosh.
signed every corner of it as a different character. So his signatures on this, like as Mario, as Luigi, as Waluigi, and as Wario.
That's
He's a
awesome.
sweetheart. And then ran into him like he super good guy. Got to like I met him at a con, then ran into him at a bar after the con, and it was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's
no, yeah, he's
fantastic.
really nice. I think my family has met him in the past. I want to say because my family up until COVID, my family went to Comic-Con pretty much every single year, so they met him like once or twice. He's a cool guy.
So
Oh, excuse me.
Sweetheart.
this is what Samantha Kelly had to say, the voice actor for Peach.
Yeah.
Thank you for so many years of friendship and joy. I'm sad that it's over. I truly would have wanted to voice Peach and Toad forever. Nintendo let me know yesterday that they decided to recast these roles. I'm grateful that I got to do these voices for so many years. Peach and Toad are such strong and beautiful characters that I pray they live forever, no matter who voices them. So much
Wait,
love.
she voiced Toad too?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Oh, I had no idea.
That's awesome. Holy shit.
I do feel bad for
Wow.
her though, because
Oh yeah.
like I'm not surprised she got recasted because they were gonna have to recast them anyway if say like they passed away or something like that, have a buffer
Yeah.
ready. But to have the rug pulled out from underneath them, to be like not even told months in advance, hey, we're recasting you, just last minute. That sucks.
yeah.
Yeah, but unfortunately, like that's sort of the nature of the beast with voice acting in general.
Mm.
It happens in anime. It happens in the audiobook world. It happens, of course, with video games. Like voice acting is such a volatile business that it's one of those things where I'm sure that Nintendo is probably getting a bunch of shit on the internet and in their comment sections and stuff like that. When unfortunately, this is just a bad practice in the industry, and it's not related to Nintendo in the slightest.
Well, I also it just came to mind. She might be SAG, and if she's
she?
SAG, then that'd be why
That
she'd
would
be
make
recasted.
sense.
Hmm. We did, you know what's funny, Temp? I don't know if we discussed it on the docket, but SAG has been like attacking that one VTuber that talked
Yeah.
to Karina Bedecker.
Mm-hmm.
Leon, did you watch that video? Because a Karina Bedecker, the voice of Paimon, talked to a VTuber about her situation, and then he started getting attacked by random
The
SAG
bag face
members.
guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the whole thing. I watched like a few minute, like 6 minute or something clip of it, and because
Yeah.
I wanted to dunk on that bitch for a video, and that didn't end up making the video. But yeah, fuck her. She's retarded. He was good though.
No, yes. Oh my gosh. But yeah, he's like getting attacked because like people, including her, being like, "Oh, you trapped her into this interview." She's like, "No, she willingly came on to the interview and she willingly decided to answer all the questions."
And
like the. Oh,
it
go
gets
ahead.
even worse. He actually, before they published the video, he sent the
Mhm.
video to her and let her review the whole thing to make sure it was up to what she wanted.
To be honest, that's way more than I would have done with her.
Right, but that was the little bit of courtesy. So the fact
I was
that
gonna say that's actually really made.
so
Oh,
she
man.
approved all the questions, she approved everything about it, and then went after him anyway.
See, I didn't know she went after him. I know that there was always going to be people that did, whether it be her fans, people that are just in this sort of this sphere on YouTube, whatever it may be. So I didn't know that she went after him. I've only seen the actual portions of the interview itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, yeah. A good chunk of because we watched the entire thing. Was it last week? Yeah,
No,
it
it
was
last week. It was last week we watched the interview.
And a majority of it is just him like fluffing her up a little bit. Like he didn't ask her a lot of it. He literally asked her 2 to 3 intrusive questions. Period.
Yeah, it was a very softball interview from the bits I've seen of it. That is. So
yeah. And I do think that part of that is because it was all approved questions. But the fact that we got the questions we did, really, it was just like, woman, you really have no place to complain, because if you gave him the okay on all of this, like...
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is, she's in just as much of a similar position where she's just looking for clout. She probably did it with the full intention of throwing him under the bus just for clout.
It's possible.
Not only that, but there's something about the what's the name of the game? Not Genshin Impact.
Honkai Star Rail?
Or is it? Yeah, Honkai Star Rail thing. But that whole Honkai Star Rail, Genshin Impact, that sort of gacha style. These voice actors, they are in controversy after controversy after controversy. I mean, once to twice in a given month, if I wanted to get quick and easy views, make a fucking video about these gacha game voice actors, or these gacha games in general, because they are always surrounded by absolute shit. And it comes off to me as a level of entitlement that I've rarely seen before. As somebody that's been around since the original Gamergate, I've gone to so many. I've been going to Comic Con since I was about 6 years old. My dad's a nerd, so I've always met a lot of English voice actors. And there's always been issues in the voice acting community, whether localization, casting house practices, the whole nine. But there just seems something about these gacha game voice actors that is so exponentially worse, and maybe it's because of the fact that most of these games are Chinese, and so there's a massive delineation between the American and the Chinese sensibilities. But it's really sad to see, because it makes me embarrassed for like our current state of localization, voice acting, things like that.
Well, you can rest easy knowing that she has to now stream on Twitch for money. Basically, she is playing video games on Twitch. I don't know if it's right now, but she is like streaming right now. I don't know if she's like actually getting work, but like that's
she
what
already
she's
said
doing right
in
now.
that interview that she had a job with Disney.
No, you're right. She does. So she does have acting work, but she's still streaming on Twitch for
I think some
money.
people have actually pointed out that she's not in SAG.
Is she not in SAG anymore? Did she leave? Did they throw her out?
I think some people said she's never been in SAG, actually.
That can't be, because she said in an earlier interview that she was
talking about
forced into
unionizing,
them.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
she was talking
She's
about
been their
union.
champion.
There is no way that she isn't in SAG, because she literally told a story about how she was forced into them because of how their union contracts work, where if you're not a non-union member, you become a union member by taking on their contracts as a non-union member.
Oh, yeah.
So she was forced into it.
The whole thing around Karina is a mess, because we don't know what's true and what's not.
Including her.
Exactly. Paper Bag Boy sadly supported Tectone going over Mizu, so he's not that great either.
He did. I talked to him about it, though.
Yes.
Behind the scenes, just said, "Hey, can you take another look at this?" And He told me he would, so I don't really care about that. I think that he's a good guy. I think that Paperbag does good work.
I don't know the specifics, but I believe because I sent. What's funny about that is the video that you're talking about, Requiem. I sent to Mizu yesterday, and then that spiraled for like an hour.
It didn't spiral. It was more just like a conversation.
Well, it was.
But
a
it was funny.
But
It's funny thing to bring up. But yeah, I think he's a good guy. I just think a lot of young creators fall into the trap of like doing very surface level drama coverage when it comes to VTubers. And if you can break that cycle early on,
yep,
then they tend to become better creators, in my personal opinion.
He's still new to it. He's a little misinformed, but not unwilling to read and to learn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are you referring to Tectone in that regard?
No, we're talking about Paperbag Boy, the one who.
Okay. Because you were talking about how the Mizu Tectone stuff, so I didn't realize you would switch it to Paperbag Boy.
So
yeah.
So there was a video that Paperbag Boy did on Cinder, and specifically covered Mizu's post of it. And then basically supported Tectone going after Mizu about it.
Yep. Did Mizu
I don't know what that because I didn't follow the I didn't follow anything Paper Bad Boy did on or whatnot. What I will say is that I don't know Tectone. I am friends with a friend of his, so we've got like a mutual connection and whatnot. So like I when it came to the Cinder stuff, I enjoyed his content. That was where I got a lot of the Cinder stuff. And then when Mizu came on my show the other night and explained some of the other sides of it, I was like, oh, this is really interesting. So I'm getting two sides of the story, and like as an outsider to this stuff, I was like, oh, this is just an interesting different views of it or whatnot. And Mizu made a good case for why Cinder was more or less thrown under the bus. Things were directed too harshly at her, things like that. But again, I'm only tangentially familiar with the situation because at the same time, right around the same time, there was the Kersha stuff going on, which was far more interesting to me than the Cinder stuff.
For a lot of people, yeah. I think the Kirsch stuff was like slowly simmering down, and then that picked up for a while. But Kirsch was still kind of happening tangentially because Anna Valens wouldn't put down the pen, and they still haven't put down the pen because Anna Valens made a new article recently that I covered where they're just like
an article that I have that I might be covering on my show tomorrow. I'm undecided as to whether I'm going to cover it or not, but yeah, I'm also a far more, compared to at least what I assume you guys do, not more politically oriented channel. Which is why the Kirsten stuff was far more interesting to me because, like, don't get me wrong, I love pop culture, news, the whole nine. I love covering all that, and that's what the majority of my channel is. But we also go like deep into the political aspects, New World Order, World Economic Forum, fucking Palantir being a facade for the Elon Musk, Donald Trump stuff that was going on a couple days ago. And so, in that respect, like the Kirsten stuff was just far more in the realm of what I covered than the Cinder stuff.
For sure. I think you and Temp would have lovely conversations about that stuff because Temp really loves talking about some of that stuff sometimes. So
nice. I'm down. Hit me up anytime.
Oh, absolutely. He didn't stop pretending to be Randy Savage. That is the funny thing about that.
He did. He loved that joke though. Paperbag Boy loved that joke. So
he did. Okay,
pretty good. Yeah, because he commented on my YouTube stream about that.
Okay. So,
anyway. Pulling back to Nintendo really quickly here. It is really sad to see her leave. All I hope is that the next VA is better. On the topic of VAs, because we were talking a little bit about how VAs are slowly getting inched out of Genshin. We're kind of hoping now. Leon, I don't know if you've played any Final Fantasy 14 or hear any of the Final Fantasy 14 VAs, but they are all British. They are not American. So they don't have the American like sensibilities that we are used to VAs having. And
I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing because I feel like most American voice actors nowadays don't have American sensibilities. They've got fucking communist China and Russia sensibilities. But
that's the thing. You'll notice it with like Final Fantasy 14, Final Fantasy 16, actually Final Fantasy Tactics now. Hey.
Tactics, by the way, my favorite game of all time. My favorite Final Fantasy game of all time, the original Tactics.
I can't.
We'll see if the new one is just as good.
I'm very excited for the remake. Yes, but anyway, sorry. Go on.
No, you're good. You're good.
Player Obscure. You're noticing more and more British actors start popping up, and the one key thing is none of them are on SAG because SAG is an American organization.
Interesting. Okay.
So, like Ben Starrs, for example, I think he lives in the United States, but he's not in SAG because he's British.
Yeah, so SAG Hero 101's a SAG after getting cold, which it's been a couple years now. I made a video when that first SAG-AFTRA strike was going on about 2 years ago now. We're roasting them because I think SAG-AFTRA is a abomination, and I was talking about how I was hoping the AI would take over and they all need to lose their jobs, and I'm infuriated with organizations like SAG-AFTRA, and the video did very well. It got a lot of views, but that's some of the most hate comments I've ever gotten in my entire time on YouTube. And I stand by every single fucking word. So fuck SAG-AFTRA. You're all fat friends of the channel. Not my show. Anyway,
Okay.
Well, SAG
All
is,
retards.
SAG has bothered me since the live action actors. I was back when that was going on. That was when the Arrowverse was going. For those who don't know, that was like the Arrow show, Legends of Tomorrow, The Flash, stuff like that. And they had to stop acting because of SAG. And the actor for the Green Arrow, Stephen Amell, came out and basically told all of them, "Why the hell are you doing this? We need to work. We have families to take
feed
care
and
of."
stuff, yeah.
And he didn't want to stop. He was actually, quote unquote, bullied by his other fellow actors from that franchise into supporting SAG because they all basically wanted to blacklist him for not supporting the strike. And if the
well, I mean, there's a lot of actors that I've talked to. I shouldn't say a lot, but I've gotten the chance to DM and hang out with and things like that. A few actors, and I've spoken to some behind the scenes that they don't like SAG-AFTRA, but they're gonna toe the line, do what they have to do, so they continue to work things like that. They're not gonna speak up, and like part of me is like, okay, I understand that because you have to put foot on the table. The other part is like, fuck you, bitch. You could be leading the charge against these horrible unions, business practices, the whole nine, but instead you would rather choose complacency. So go fuck yourself.
No, yeah, for sure. For sure. I do think that it is approaching a massive shakeup with SAG, and the response, because again, I feel like the response is now that Karina's out of Genshin, I think that we are going to start to see a lot of companies being like, you know what, we really don't care about SAG. We're not going to go with them. We're going to go with other people that really just don't act like this.
I need to see if she's said anything recently.
Oh gosh, I haven't checked to see if she's said anything recently. You have to go to the
I'm actually
blue
not
site.
checking Karina. I'm checking Senna.
Oh, okay. Oh, excuse me.
For those, I can't even check.
Has she locked it to follows
She's
only?
locked it. You have to sign into Blue Sky to see her account.
Oh,
That's
send me a
gay
link.
shit.
So for
I
those
have
who
a
don't
Blue
know,
Sky account.
Senna Breyer is the voice actor of Wook Lamont. She is one of the new actors from Final Fantasy XIV. And she was also kind of championing SAG, which is not good. For those who might not also know her, when Final Fantasy XIV Dawn Trail came out, which is the new current expansion in the game, there is a song in the game called Smile. And it plays in some of the weirdest spots in the expansion. Akko, you've been playing it again, so you understand what I mean by that.
It played during the train scene where you're supposed to be rolling a train into the next
that
area.
was weird, because there were some better songs they already have in the game that would have fit that better. But
Yeah.
people were saying they don't like the song. And she said, well, now you're all racist because it sounds like black church gospel. Not that it is, just sounds like it. So you're racist for not liking it.
This was 14's first and probably last union actor, in my personal opinion.
Yeah. So Final Fantasy XIV had American actors back in A Realm Reborn, which was the soft relaunch of the game, which saved the game. And then when its first expansion came out, they had a much higher budget, so they moved to a fully British cast.
And all the British people, thankfully, I mean, if they're political, they're doing a very bad job at making it known, because I don't hear about their politics.
You don't hear about it ever.
Well, to be fair, you don't hear about their politics because they can get thrown in fucking prison for it. One of the actors for Final Fantasy XIV comes out and says, "Hey, kind of a lot of Muslims here in our country right now. Maybe we should check on that." They're gonna get thrown in fucking prison. So
Yeah.
Exactly. But
I
with
also just think most of them are focused towards voice acting.
Oh,
To be
yeah.
honest.
They are. In fact, the voice actor for Y'shtola appeared in a trailer for a game called Chrono Odyssey during Summer Game Fest. So that is another game with British actors.
Well, it's Elden Ring also has British actors in it as well.
Elden Ring has British. Well, FromSoft games have always had British actors. That's
This is
not
true, but like
always a
their
surprise.
games are. It's not unique, but like they've got some of the better voices,
They do.
in my personal opinion. So I think that FromSoft knows what they're doing.
They do. So basically, with Dawn Trail, they started hiring more American actors because the region was kind of like a South American kind of thing, so they kind of wanted to mesh well into the voice typing.
Yeah.
Which backfired horribly. And as of the current patch cycle, so 7.2, she's almost non-existent. She's in it, but like what, 5 lines, maybe 10 lines in the entire patch?
Yeah, Leon, to give you some context, this voice actor, her lines were they gave her so many voice lines that she had more voice lines than any character in all of the expansions of Final Fantasy 14. And people hated
Combined.
her so much that they're gonna get rid of her.
Yeah. And not only that, Akko, what do you think of Sphene as a character? I'm curious. Now that
Sphene?
the
Queen?
The Queen Sphene.
I'm gonna be honest. Okay, don't get mad at me, but I have been
I mean,
paying attention. I
you
haven't
haven't
been
liked
paying
Dawn Trail.
attention.
It's
I
fine.
haven't no. Dawn Trail
okay.
is so mid.
So, without the cat person, yes, that was the cat person. That was the Hrothgar, the female Hrothgar, actually. And the story gets better with Shadowrun. Exactly. Thank you. So,
Now, so the story will get better after I beat the final boss, is what you're telling me.
yes. So 7.1 is kind of a little bit of a stinker. Like the first bit is good. The second bit is not great because they focus on cows. No, I'm not kidding. And then
I know what you mean.
but 7.2 is where it really starts kicking up, and we may very well be having another moment like the Grahatia moment in Shadowbringers.
Yep.
Where we are getting a new member of the main team of characters.
Oh, that's good.
And
Hope they
based
don't
on
get
my
rid of her.
response of asking you about Sphene, you might know who I'm talking about.
I really don't, but I guess I need to finish.
I'm glad you are a wonderful idiot.
I am, and that's why everybody loves me. Anyway.
The closest thing I've ever played to Final Fantasy 14 is the crossover event in Final Fantasy 15. So
That's fair. As someone who's been playing since A Realm Reborn, I absolutely love the game. I would say it's probably the best MMO on the market because every
Well, Final Fantasy 14 is the best MMO on the market. That's why I don't play it. As a previous WoW fan,
yeah,
I would shirk my content. I would not make videos. I would not do live streams, shit like that, because like I was so deep in WoW. And knowing how good Final Fantasy 14 is, and having friends that play it, and having watched them play it, I'm like, I can't.
You will lose
my
hundreds
channel
of
will
hours.
fall into nothingness. So like I refuse.
As
play
an
Final
idea,
Fantasy.
That's a good reason not to play. I'll be honest with you.
to give you an idea, I don't have all the content done. In fact, I'm so far from having all the content done that I will probably have hundreds upon thousands of hours still to go. I have 6,500 hours in the game alone on Steam.
Have you surpassed Destiny 2 yet?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Destiny is at 5,300. So
Wow, that's 5,295 more hours than you should have put in that game.
I know. No, I know. I actually quit Destiny 2 like what, a month ago, maybe 2 months ago.
Destiny 2 was
5,000
his,
hours too late. That's when you quit it.
Destiny 2
I'm
was
sorry.
his,
I fucking hate that game. I hate that.
No, I
hate
don't blame you.
2. Oh, I'm such a fucking Destiny hater, bro.
I
the
really
creator of
liked
the
it.
game, or both.
I was gonna make a Destiny the streamer joke, and I thought I don't know if this is the place for that, so I didn't. But
No,
yes,
you're
both.
fine. Listen, you can hate all of them. They've all cucked hours away of our life, so.
The story improved since the initial release. Yes, the story for Dawn Trail did improve. Honestly, having sat on Dawn Trail since, because it's been out in a year now, because it came out in July last year. Having sat on it for almost a year at this point, my opinions on it have actually improved. Is it the greatest expansion to ever come out? No. Is
No.
it the worst thing to ever exist? No. It's mediocre. It has its really good moments and its really bad moments, but I wouldn't call it awful. I mean, it's supposedly the start of the next 10-year journey. So
I hope it gets better. I hope that the next expansion is like our.
So, I know
yeah.
some people. I think you were talking about Under the Tea 2, maybe 3 weeks ago. where Lumi was saying that it might improve because Yoshi P is no longer a part of the board of directors. And some people in
Yes.
chat were saying, "Oh, that's false. You're lying." He actually has made statements in the past saying he's wanted out of the board of directors because being in the board of directors has actually stopped him from developing the games he wants to make.
Right. Don't be in
And
charge,
As
chat.
much as I love Yoshi P, because Yoshi P is first of all, super cool dude. Second of all, I think he's a great developer, things to that effect. He also hasn't exactly had a great run lately. I mean, take a look at Final Fantasy 16, which I like it. I'm in the minority. I like Yoshi P's an acquired taste.
I really like 16. 16 was a fantastic experience. I understand
part
people
of-
don't like the combat, but its story, top tier. Absolutely loved its
I
story.
think-
Fair. Final Fantasy never has bad stories. It's like what makes Final Fantasy good or bad for a lot of people is the gameplay itself. Because I can't think of a bad Final Fantasy, story. Not true. All the 13 games fucking suck. But aside from the 13 games,
I heard 13 sucked. Yeah.
oh, dude, 13 is terrible. But I'm a big Final Fantasy fan. But again, my favorite Final Fantasies do tend to be quite a bit older. Tactics, 9, 10. Honestly, the last of the recent shit, I'm in the minority because I'm a huge fan of 15. 15's in my top 5 Final Fantasy games. And no, go on.
Well, 15 was actually the first one I ever finished. So I agree with you. I really
Yeah.
like 15.
Yeah, I love 15. 15 people give shit on because of the gameplay, which again, as an old school JRPG turn-based fan, I agree and I understand with. I would rather go back to turn-based. However, 15 did something that most most RPGs don't get to do, especially JRPGs, because you've got such a large cast that you can rotate out in most RPGs. Not a lot of folks get character development. Whereas since Final Fantasy 15, you've only got the 4 main dudes, they're the only ones in your party, and they're together the whole game. You're driving in the car, and they just start having conversation with one another, and there's so much intricate they feel so fleshed out, and this is the bro journey, and it's such great character writing that I forgive the lack of turn-based combat, even as somebody who does prefer the golden age of turn-based Final Fantasy.
Well, absolutely. But I think that's also part of the reason why I give Dawn Trail, the 14 expansion, not as much crap, is because while that was being developed, they were also working on 16. They were also working on now Tactics, as we know. So
I don't
now-
know. Just because Square Enix, I'd be very willing to bet it's an entirely different team that was working on
Well,
Tactics.
no.
In fact,
so the Creative Business 3, I think is what they said it was, is actually Yoshi P Studio. So
right, but even within studios, there's multiple different teams. Capcom has multiple different teams working on various different Resident Evil games at a time. It's not just the same team. Everything. So Yoshi P Studio, there's probably here's a team of 70 people working on a remaster/remake of Tactics, whereas you've got your main crew of 120 people or whatever working on Final Fantasy 14, 16, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
No, absolutely. But
I
that's
think-
also part of the thing is, you're gonna take if your major thing is gonna take some hits if you're working on other things at the same time. Now that at least 16 is done,
Yeah,
and
look at
he's not-
Dragon Ball Super first few fucking seasons because the A team was working on One Piece.
Exactly. So, but that's the thing is, now that 14, not 14, out of 16 is done. Now that Tactics is, I'm just gonna say done. 14 should see a lot better quality content coming.
Hopefully.
Anyway, we have rambled a bit.
Not talking about the Switch 2 at all, almost, by the way, which
Hey,
is fucking
listen,
funny. I'm not, by
that's
the way, not
fine.
trying to dictate the shot. I was truly just pointing out how I thought it was funny. I was like, wow, we went to start this all talking about Switch 2, and we deviated hard. I love shit like that.
And that's the kind of shows I love. I love it when we can just talk about stuff and people can get involved with it because it makes the show a little bit cooler, in my personal
A little
opinion.
bit
I don't
chiller
know.
too, and allow the chat to get a little more interactive.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, we actually had a GameStop. I don't know which one. As you know, I do know which one. It was one in Staten Island.
New York. Feel really bad for that guy.
Was stapling the receipts to the Switch 2 boxes.
And I don't feel like this is blameworthy because I don't think he knew.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. And I forget. I think I was talking to Cat or Malice about it, and I said that Nintendo needs to do a double take on the box because having
I disagree completely.
Oh, go ahead.
This is not a Nintendo box problem. Like I'm gonna come off as a Nintendo dick rider, but if this was a Nintendo box problem, we'd be seeing complaints about this all over the country or even all
Right.
over the world. We haven't. Here's why I think this is. I think this particular GameStop at Staten Island probably had like a fucking industrial level stapler, and that's what was being used.
I would
Well,
say
I
so,
think this is
yeah.
a one-off instance of one GameStop that had again like an industrial stapler or something like that, and these poor motherfuckers didn't know what they had because again, if this was a Nintendo box problem, there would be lots of people in the grand scheme of the U.S. or the world over making the same mistake.
Well, absolutely. And there also is, we're at a point right now where people are looking for jobs. And if you get a job at GameStop, you don't know the Switch 2 release cycle's happening. You don't know what's X, Y, and Z is happening. If you're just trying to make the sale and you don't know what's in this box because it's just a job for you, stapling that's not a surprise.
Now, even if you are just looking for a job, I don't know how you're not gonna know what the goddamn Switch 2 is. Like as someone who's worked retail, you get shit like this in stock. There's meetings like the night before or the week leading up to like, hey, just so you know, we're gonna have a huge influx of customers. Why? Because we're about to have a huge shipment of Switch 2s. We're gonna have midnight releases. All this shit. No, these motherfuckers knew what they were handling. Again, I just think this is more of an ignorance of how to handle it in one rare instance.
Yeah. No, I agree. I 100% agree. Because I looked at the box for this and like, I don't know. I personally don't feel like I would put the Switch right below the top of the cardboard. But again, it's not like Nintendo's fault because Nintendo is not going to be like, oh, we expect that people are going to try and puncture this box. But by the same token, as somebody who worked for shipping companies and as somebody who has delivered packages for Amazon, it's just like if you put something that sensitive at the very top of the package, come on.
You might just want like a little bit of a buffer of just like a little bit of a protection buffer.
Boxes are made for specifically shipping. And if you don't ship that box in a condition where you expect a little bit of rough, because I don't know if people know this, but at USPS, they throw packages. And if it says fragile, they throw it softer. That's literally what I learned day one. So,
Also,
I don't know.
USPS, get fucked. You're still technically part of the government. I know you're a 4-letter organization, not a 3-letter organization, but defund you as well. Fuck
God,
the USPS.
yeah, USPS.
They need to
Oh my God.
privatize. They should probably privatize a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah. Like, I was joking about the USPS because I ordered a 9070 XT recently. And I was like, well, it'll be here this day, so I expected a week after that.
Mm-hmm.
It arrived on the day of that it was expected, surprisingly.
Oh, that's good.
I actually ordered my kid this is and it just arrived today. I did not open it because I'm a good father, but the Legend of Zelda manga series with like that comes with the
Oh.
treasure chest. You can open.
Oh,
It was
Mhm.
those are
normally it's
good.
$150. Amazon had it on sale for fucking $70. So I was like,
Oh.
oh, I'm ordering this bitch right now as a gift for my kid, and it arrived today, and that bitch has some heftiness to it. So I'm gonna be looking when it gets open tomorrow as to whether or not there's some damage to that shit because that's some collectible shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
And those
actually-
ones are really good too because
actually-
they
yeah.
are they're pretty faithful to the comics, and I think that like unlike a lot of manga, they're just like purely safe for all consumption basically.
I've also heard that they are written so well that
They're
the
non-canon as fuck, but they're very well written. I've read
deviation,
several.
because are they just no? Sorry, I'm thinking of the full-on Twilight Princess manga because I know there's just a
The
full-on-
Twilight Princess manga, dude. Oh, it's too bad. I don't. I just switched it the other day. For the last 2 years, the background of my cell phone has been the manga panel of Midna and Link kissing because I'm a Midna Link shipper,
Yeah.
and like the fact that we got
Oh,
that in the
yeah.
manga, not the game, is so goddamn good. I love the Twilight Princess manga.
I like manga over anime, so you know it's all right. I trust that
I
more.
prefer anime, but that's because I move around a lot. I'm very
Yeah.
always up doing stuff, and so like you can't really multitask while reading. That's more about you gotta sit and do it thing, and I don't like doing that. So
That's fair.
manga, I will admit, it's usually like better, but I prefer watching anime because I can multitask while doing it.
Yeah, that's actually why I haven't watched any anime lately because the last anime I watched was Daima, which fantastic.
Oh my god, I loved Daima.
Oh.
I actually did like a 5 or 6 hour Daima review stream like the night it ended.
My only problem is Super Saiyan 4. Like, don't get me wrong, I loved it, but how in
Define
God's-
problem. What's your problem with that?
Because Daima is a prequel to Super. So how are they going to work
I d-
Daima or that into the?
I
first-
don't think Daima's a prequel to Super. I'm gonna be real. I don't. I think that Daima because there's more plot holes than just Super. There's how Kibito and Supreme Kai,
Yep.
got separated from the Picard earrings, for
Yep.
example. Like there's a few plot holes in Daima. I could be wrong, but I think Daima is in an alternate timeline, just like GT, just like the Goku from the Xenoverse games, things like that.
I'm on the other camp. I think it is because they have actually said it is like directly after the Majin Buu arc.
Mhm.
And
Directly after the Majin Buu arc in a different timeline. I mean,
no, Daima is not a prequel to GT. GT is a completely separate
it was a
thing.
prequel to GT. I was saying that GT is in a different timeline. I
Well,
think Daima
yeah.
is as well, not the same timeline. I'm just saying that I think they could both be in separate timelines.
I'm not in the camp of I agree with that, but I want to see them kind of develop it more. Because, well, then when you consider the first battle of Goku versus Beerus, why is he using 3 and not Super Saiyan 4?
Exactly, and it's stuff like that I can't rationalize them being in the same timeline.
The only thing
So,
I
yeah.
can rationalize is stuff like, well, why didn't X, Y, and Z happen in Star Wars? Like, because we know the prequel trilogy came out after the originals, even though something should have made more sense if you had watched the originals first. But that's because X was created first. So,
See, I feel like you should take extra care to make sure your ducks are in a row when you do stuff. But by the same token,
it's
Toriyama, I love him to death, but he is just a right by the seat of his pants motherfucker. He does not plan for shit.
Exactly.
So
I feel like they're going to make it work eventually. Realistically, what I expect is just them to be like, oh, Goku just can't do it outside the demon realm, or Goku can't, forgot how to do it because Goku has been written to be an idiot.
Yes and no. I actually take exception to the Goku being written to be an idiot thing, but that's a very long conversation. I could talk for hours about Dragon Ball. I think it's the greatest anime/manga franchise to ever exist. I know it's not technically the best in terms of writing or anything, but I do think it's the most historically significant anime/manga ever made. So I can talk for hours about it. I'm a big Dragon Ball fan. You look at my background and see there's all this statues. I'm wearing a fucking Dragon Ball shirt. I'm a big Dragon Ball guy. So
I completely agree. I think that they're going to end up because there is technically no canon to Dragon Ball, because then you have to think about the manga and the anime, because both of them deviate from each other while still telling the same story. It's like, if you're wanting to find a canon one, it's gonna be the manga. Completely straightforward.
Agreed. Like Dragon Ball into Dragon Ball Z, which is still technically just Dragon Ball in terms of the manga, into Super is the canon. The actual if ands or buts canon.
Exactly. So we'll see if Toyotaro makes it canon. I think he's going to. It's just finding out how to mesh it in well enough to make sense, because I think he is going to at least try and make it make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I trust Toyotaro, to be fair. I do. I've always trusted Toyotaro. I like his work, so.
After the Granola arc, I'm hesitant. The Granola arc had some high highs and low lows.
To be fair, so did the Buu arc when Toriyama was writing.
Yeah.
And I love the Buu arc, but it has some high highs and some low lows.
Yeah, it did. Oh, we need the Moro arc animated, please.
Dude, I've been waiting so long. I feel like it's never gonna come.
No, I think it is. I think it's probably in the pipeline. It's just, it's kind of like Silk Song. It's like, we know it's coming. It's just when.
Gotta stop thinking about it, because it'll come once it happens. Just like Silk Sonic's never coming.
No. We actually got some major updates about Silk Song today, actually.
Did we?
Yes.
Did we?
We'll get into that after the Nintendo stuff, but it is definitely in our log.
I mean, how much more about Nintendo do we really? Because it's just a lot of people got the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
One of the funniest reactions I saw with the Nintendo Switch. Now, Leon, I don't know if you saw this. Do you follow Some Ordinary Gamers? Do you follow Mr. Mutahar?
Not closely, but I do.
Not closely. Okay, so I watched him recently get the Switch after he made 3 or 4 videos saying, I'm not buying the Nintendo Switch. And he gave all his reasons why he wasn't buying the Nintendo Switch. 2. Most of the reasons, focusing around the fact that it's anti-consumer, a lot of the things that they have done, it's really not bang for your buck, the games are too expensive, and all of some technical reasons as well. Well, The day that it came out, he literally makes a tweet saying, walked in on the midnight release, saw it was there, and bought it without waiting in line. And then he makes a video the next day reviewing it.
I mean, okay. Again, I'm gonna come off like a Nintendo dick writer here. People have been calling me a Nintendo dick writer since the announcement of the Switch 2 and all the anti-consumer business practices, shit like that. Now, first of all, is it hypocritical for Mutahar to say shit like that? 100%. I'm not gonna say it isn't. But by the same token, I also think people are going and were going and probably will continue to go way too fucking hard on Nintendo and the Switch 2 in many ways that are undeserved. There's a lot of criticism that is deserved and there's a lot of criticism that is valid. However, I also think that the majority of people are jumping on bandwagons, not critical thinking, a myriad of reasons when it comes to Nintendo and the Switch 2.
Yeah. So I agree with you. And I think it really doesn't matter if he wants to go get one because it's just like, oh, maybe he changed his mind. Maybe he thought he could turn a $500 console plus Cyberpunk 2077, which is the only game he bought, into a video. Great. Fantastic. However, he decided to make a video apologizing for buying it.
Okay, see, that's bitch made. To be fair, Muda is incredibly bitch made. I like his content and whatnot, but he also, regardless of what you think of, let's say Nux Taku, for example, he made that whole fucking anti-Nux video, post-Nux Clarity, which is a fucking great title, by the way. Very clever. Only for just within like a month or whatever, them to go back to being friends again. Like Muda is incredibly bitch made, and I chalk it up to him being Canadian.
Yeah. So I've already watched the video. It's like a 12-minute video where he is literally just getting down on the floor and saying, guys, can you please forgive me for buying the Switch 2? Do you guys want to watch it? It's funny. We don't even need to watch the whole thing. It's just like the first 3 or 4 minutes where it's just like,
it's your show. It's your world. I'm just living in it. Do what you got to do, girlie.
Temp, I'm going to put this in the chat. And then before we get to the game show stuff, I did want to talk a little bit about Stellar Blade as well, because Stellar Blade has had some funky mods coming out for it, and it's not even out yet.
Yeah.
Some of them are funny.
I believe, I could be wrong about this. We already have a Thomas the Tank Engine mod, I think.
I will take 12 of those
Thomas
over
the
the
Train
pregnant
Engine
mod.
Did you see the pregnancy mod?
I'm not surprised that exists. Are you?
It does exist. It was funny. The fact that I saw it, I was like, you know what? The fact that it exists just shows us that we live in a society. Let me pause my music.
Oh my god.
All right.
I haven't played Stellar Blade yet, mind you. I don't have a PlayStation 5 because I'm not a homo. I've been waiting for it to come to PC, so I can't wait to finally actually get my hands on Stellar Blade.
Well, you can play the demo right now.
Yeah, the demo's out now on Steam.
Yeah, but I could just wait for the game and go all in at once. Like, I very rarely do I play demos. There's a couple of games that were shown off at the Games Fest that okay, maybe I actually will. But as a general rule, I try not to play demos and I just go in.
Oh,
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And
I will say the one thing about this demo is I've heard that it can roll into your regular save file once you finish it.
Well, that's what the PlayStation 5 one did. So I think people are saying that the Steam one does the same.
Yeah.
yeah. And for those who don't know, Stellar Blade comes out on PC on Wednesday.
On Wednesday, I will be playing, chat. Probably not on Wednesday, but I'll be playing it. I'll be doing a couple streams of it.
And we have exactly 10 days from the time it releases to maybe finish it.
No, I won't be finishing it in 10 days, I'll tell you that much. Listen, ever since I went to talking about drama, I stopped finishing video games.
Oh, I know. And it frustrates me so much.
Oh, don't worry. I'll potentially get to play some more video games when I come and visit you.
Uh-huh. You've already said you'll be streaming when you visit.
Yeah, but I'll be doing shorter stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway. So yeah, there are some mods for Stellar Blade. This one is probably my favorite because it's like men's mental health.
My
mod.
health is already improving. Yes. So
Based.
yeah.
Fucking based.
So mods are already happening. And I actually forgot to put this in the docket, but the CEO of ShiftUp has already said he approves of the mods and is basically saying keep
He
them
wants
coming.
more.
Keep them coming.
Yeah. He's just like
Obviously there will be no mod manager because Sony is a bunch of idiots.
yeah.
But he
No, on
not-
Steam there probably will be.
No. Sony is very anti-mod.
I mean that doesn't matter though. It's just, they're so fucking Bethesda, specifically with the Oblivion remake, and yet people have been doing them. Like if somebody is able to make a mod manager and post that mod manager, people download it and run the proper programs, it'll be done.
Let me rephrase. There will be no official mod manager, not like Baldur's Gate, not
gotcha.
like
Obviously
Creation
not.
Club, like
Obviously,
an
Yeah, okay,
official
yeah,
one
I-
made by Shift Up. There won't be one.
I thought you meant it's not even going to support a mod manager.
Oh,
I'm
no.
like, no, there's someone's gonna make a mod manager and it's gonna be fine.
No, there will be no workshop. At least, and right now there won't be. They haven't said there will be, but they also have not said there won't be. But considering it's Sony as the publisher, very likely there won't be. So we have to rely on places like Nexus Mods, or other places to get mods.
I don't think you're going to see mods like this on Nexus Mods, though.
No.
Because Nexus Mods is being very gay. So
They are.
instead, you're going to have to rely.
Nexus Mods being real gay, but they've also started being a little bit less gay because they've gotten so much pushback. Like when what was the recent game? What was it that had the character, the black character that people lightened up a bit, and they took the mod down, but then people complained. They brought it back.
Yes, that was for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Yeah, I
was it
think
for
for
that
Kingdom
one?
Come Deliverance 2, like they ended up bringing, they brought the mod back, and they're like, oh, we're sorry, we didn't. Shut the fuck up. You're not so. You know exactly what you were goddamn doing. You're Nexus mods. You do this shit all the fucking time. But you know what? At least they brought it back. So I'm not a fan of Nexus mods, mind you. I'm not saying this to support them or anything. However, I do think that there has been such bad press around them lately. They're feeling the heat and they're backing off a bit.
Yeah, they have to, or else they're gonna be going under.
Right.
Well, I think they're only managed by like 1 to 2 people. Because it's like a British dude, I think.
Well, and that
What a
also kind of equates to the problem. They're British.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. British actors are great. British people are idiots. No offense to anyone British in the chat.
Was I thinking about Yakutaro? Yes,
Full
I was.
offense. If you're
chat.
British in the chat, donate or go fuck yourself because British people suck. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
Anyway. Yeah, seeing mods
how
for
you
this
grip,
is
baby.
fantastic.
Oh yeah,
Thank you. What was that?
and seeing support from the actual devs for more mods.
Oh yeah, they definitely want more mods. Thank you for the follow on Kick. I need to fix the Kick notifications.
I
'cause
actually wouldn't be.
now they're happening more now.
I actually wouldn't be overly surprised if maybe Shift Up made an unofficial mod manager and labeled it under like a different company name,
That would be funny.
just so that way they
I don't.
could.
Is that in their purview?
I'm sure they could do it, as long as they like made a different company of like the same devs and just said, "Hey, here's like a mod manager," but it's not official, so they can't tie it under the
Mhm.
Shift Up brand. That means they can't tie it under the Sony brand. So
I mean, they are a gotcha game owner, so they could pretty much do whatever the fuck they want.
exactly, exactly.
And they're making a new game eventually.
They are.
I think we talked about
We
that
talked about
last
that last
week,
week
but
as well.
yeah, they're working on a new one, and I'm excited.
And it's even more sexy than these two.
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
We actually had to be very
Anyway.
careful showing that one.
Wasn't that one like? I mean, here's the thing. All gotcha. Well, not all gotcha games, but like especially their gotcha game. It's just like, how the fuck do you get away with making that a rated T game in the App Store?
Yeah. Like Shift Up's games are like borderline hentai.
To be fair, if you go to the App Store, isn't X considered rated T or whatever?
Yeah.
Or maybe it's even E and it's full on porn on X.
Yes,
Like,
but I feel like X should be rated M because it.
I mean,
does
I
say that
agree it
can
should,
be.
but the point is, there's full on porn on X and it's not rated M. So
You're right. No, I am in agreement. I just think that Elon Musk should have it rated 17 plus because if he doesn't want people that are under 18,
Elon Musk, I don't think sets the rating. The ESRB does.
Yeah, it's the SRB. It's
that's
not
fair.
And if they're looking at just the basic nature of what Twitter is, they're not gonna rate it any higher than that. The
All I
basic
know is-
functionality of Twitter is just social media. You talk to people, you post shit, and that's it.
All I know is
bully,
that every
you
single
cyberbully politicians.
all I know is that every single day I am non-consensually being forced to see a minor's opinion.
Gotcha is
Every
a
single day.
pathway to many profits. Some would deem unnatural.
Say, and seeing minors' opinions on X does suck. I agree with you. However, because of X's free for everybody nature, I'm also able to every day go to Justin Trudeau's posts or whatever and call him words that I won't even say on your stream. So
Well,
a little good, a little bad.
That's fair.
In the same note of that, content creator watched Star Wars Theory. He because the recent change in leadership in Canada, like he's been very anti government in Canada because they're just so awful there. And
I've got buddies that are friends with Star Wars Theory. Yeah, good dude. He's a good guy.
And he's I think it was on his podcast. He's basically saying like, I can't say what I want to say because they could just hear me say this and roll up and arrest me, and I have a business to run, and I can't do that. I need out of here. I just can't.
Three of the people I stream with regularly are Canadian. One of them, she hides her face because she is the shit she says. She like what her podcast. She does videos on that, but her podcast is a Rumble exclusive podcast, and her face isn't on there because like if it gets found out who she is, what she's saying, where she lives, like she's going to fucking jail. Like
Exactly, yeah.
That sucks.
Like, I know Theory specifically is actively looking to move out of Canada. It's just he has to finish funding his project before he moves out.
Well, so is she. My friend, she's married to an American. They've been married for the last 3 years. She has a husband in Florida. The reason she's not moving here, she's unvaccinated. Based. But America will not let her come here because she's not vaccinated. It's not even a Canada thing.
That's dumb.
So she's
I
been
know that
separated
that's
from
an
her
American
husband
thing. I hate
years.
that. I hate that so much.
Yeah, I do too. It's so stupid. It shouldn't matter.
All the way in 2020, goddamn 5.
Yeah. I don't understand that.
It's
I
government.
feel bad for peeps who can't sneed. Exactly.
You gotta hate government.
You gotta hate government and sneed.
Yep.
Anyway, you want to watch Mutahar grovel because he bought a game console?
Do it.
Hello, guys and gals, me Mutahar, and let's just talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. I made a mistake. I ended up buying that Nintendo Switch 2, even though.
So is this the
I
review
said
video, or did he
that
put
I
this
was
out
going
after the
to-
review
No,
video?
this is after the review video. He made a video that has almost 1 million views where he reviews the Switch 2. And some people on Twitter I saw were asking this. I don't know about his comments in his review video. I didn't really look at those. My assumption is he probably got a few people saying, "Why'd you buy this after you said you wouldn't buy it?" And I guess it got so bad for him, and he felt so bad for it. He's just like this apology makes me feel like he like committed some sort of crime, and it's just like you just bought a fucking Switch, man.
So you're saying that he didn't curry their favor?
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
I actually have kind of retracted my statement. Like,
Bring it in. Y'all know that was
It was
clever.
good. No, I get it was good. I liked.
Was it maybe 3 weeks ago? I said I wasn't gonna buy a Switch 2 because of just the disgusting practices of the corporate side of Nintendo of this.
Are you really going to?
I've said I'm going to hold off. I want to see how it is in a year or two, because right now there's no games. Like the meme about
Oh, yeah, of
PS5
course.
having no games. No, the Switch 2 has even less games.
I
yeah.
completely disagree. I think the Switch 2 has far better games than the PS5
Well,
had at the same time
no.
as launched. That being said, I'm not gonna buy a Switch 2 either. I'm waiting like until you show me a mainline Zelda game, I'm not buying one.
Well, exactly. Like, sure, all of you like Mario Kart? Great. I'm so glad you have Mario Kart. I'm waiting for Zelda. I'm waiting for Xenoblade. I'm waiting for a 3D Mario.
Well,
right
I'm
now,
waiting
we
for
have
the
none of those.
generation. I'm waiting for the next generation of the Switch 2 because, like, when the generation 1s of all the Switches came out, a lot of them had a lot of issues, and I am waiting for the next generation of them to come out where they iron out those issues. That's kind of what you should do with everything. I waited to get the my RTX card until it was like later down the line. I waited for the Steam Deck until it was not brand new. It's just like wait, because I know for a fact that there's going to be issues that people find. So
Oh, absolutely. Like, and I'm experiencing some of those as well, because like I got the 9070 XT in my computer, and that's only a couple months old. It came out in like February and March,
Mhm.
and there's definitely some issues, but they're working on it. They're fixing some of these issues. It's just working around the issues. At least with Nintendo, if you give it some time, either you wait for the next generation of the system, it's for them to iron out the bugs, or even you want to wait for like the next update, like the Switch OLED. That's fine too. Because by then they'll have worked out even more of the kinks.
Yeah. Muda, why did you redeem it? Again, like I can't impress enough just how fucking dumb it is for Muda to just be like, guys, I'm sorry for buying this. Just like, why?
So bitch made again. Like I love Muda's content in terms of like when he's covering things not related to himself, but he as a person seems so just fucking wishy-washy, whatever the way the wind blows sort of thing.
No, exactly. I agree. When he's doing his deep web browsing, whenever he's talking about Linux, whenever he's talking about technical stuff, that's what people are here for. People really don't want him to apologize for talking about politics and then talking about politics. People don't care about him being friends with weird people and then him being friends with weird people. It's just like,
Also,
Own it, motherfucker.
and if you're in the tech scene on YouTube, it's not out of the realm possibility if you want to buy a Switch 2. If you like, you want to experience the tech on it, you want to experience the hardware, you want to experience the software. If that's your wheelhouse, do it.
Yeah.
Like, that's still content for you. Like it or
Yeah,
don't
I don't
like
know. I again, it's just like my major problem is just like all you need to say is, guys, I know what I said. I'm buying it. All you had to do is just be like, I bought this, so you don't have to. I changed my mind so that I can make a funny meme off of it. And it's just like, yeah, people are gonna say that you're a little wishy-washy, but it's just like that's a better way than just being like, guys, I'm sorry for contributing to consumerism and making the problem worse. Because like as we go through this, he's like, I am contributing to video games getting worse. It's just like,
The fuck up, dude. You're the one fucking purchase you make is not when Nintendo. Oh my god, Nintendo was gonna choose not to make the Switch fucking 3 if Mutahar didn't buy the Switch 2. Shut the fuck up, you self-aggrandizing queer.
yeah, just continue.
So hard not to use my normal lingo. I'm so sorry.
No, you're
you're
good. That
fine.
one's fine. That one's fine. I don't mind that
Alright.
one.
To hold off. I wasn't just going to go buy it outright. And there I was, going on a midnight release, and I ended up picking it, just on a walk-in. Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, there's no way
Now, that actually is interesting. He just goes in, walks in, doesn't have a pre-order, and just buys one. That might
Yeah,
actually
it's just
be an interesting say of how their sales are going for this thing.
that is an interesting say of the
I've got a
sales,
few
yeah.
friends that were able to score one without the pre-order, and both of them said the same thing. They were at Walmart, and Walmart had one left. So my assumption is that, so there was a lot of people reporting that their Switch 2 pre-orders got canceled, specifically through Walmart. I don't know how it is through GameStop, but Walmart had a rash of cancellations for their Switch 2 pre-orders, and so I'm assuming the pallets and stock were already ordered. But because the pre-orders weren't there, they had leftovers, and that's why people were able to buy them. So the initial purchase was there, because there was all these reportings that Switch 2 sold out of pre-orders. But if your pre-order gets canceled after the fact, that sale is still marked in terms of shipping. So you probably basically have extras that are able to sell just to regular consumers at that point.
I can believe that. Yeah, I can believe that. I don't think it's as simple as, oh, maybe they just made too many. I think it can probably be as simple as that.
Well, another post, like Lost Pots or Noble, he had made a post saying, hey, I just walked in. I didn't go to a
Holy
pre-order.
shit, Noble's still around?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't watched Noble in ages, bro.
Oh, yeah. No, he's still around. But he made a post on Twitter saying, hey, I didn't pre-order the thing. I just walked into Best Buy and I bought it. Cool.
That makes him the first person to walk into a Best Buy in the last 3 years.
I don't know about that. I walked into a Best Buy like 2 weeks ago. Didn't buy anything.
I like Best Buy. I used to work for Best Buy, actually, but, like, they dying, bro. They were dying when I worked there.
Yeah, no,
Well, like they're getting rid of physical media, so yeah, the moment that we're out of physical media, it's just like,
yeah.
I mean, like I don't know, people are still maybe gonna go there for TVs and dishwashers, but you can get a lot of that
So,
stuff
yeah,
from
bro,
other big box stores.
And that's the thing. That's what they sell, these big giant pieces of equipment. Which, by all means, fair enough. If that's what you're gonna buy, go for it. But like, that's not what I went to Best Buy like for their guitars, and they got rid of those. And then like, oh, I want to buy DVDs or video games or everything. They got rid of those. I ain't got no good goddamn reason to stop into Best Buy nowadays.
You know what? That reminds me. Thank you for the reminder. How much is Sonic 3 on Amazon? I still gotta buy it.
Based.
You did just tab out on your main screen, just so
No, I know, but it's still the stream.
Okay, good.
The one I'm.
Good. Just making sure you know.
Okay,
just making
so
sure you know.
it's $23 for the 4K version. I'll just buy it like next week or something.
Anyway, we can continue.
to sugarcoat or cut around this, I did in fact commit a hypocrisy. I made
No,
I
you
made a
bought
mistake.
hardware.
I should have not bought this product. Now I made a few videos on the Switch 2. Well, not a few, several.
I do kind of want to bring up this because he's like, I said something I shouldn't have said. I said I wasn't gonna buy it, and then I bought it, and I'm apologizing. Which don't apologize for this. It's so stupid.
Yes,
But-
Dude,
that's the
homie
problem.
is talking like he's like, oh, I've got a friend that raped somebody, and I'm still associating with them. I'm sorry. Like, bro, you bought a fucking Switch 2.
Well-
Exactly. That's the thing. You would have thought that he hurt somebody in this video. This video's like almost 100,000 views, and all he is just saying, I'm sorry I contributed to consumerism. I was like, why?
And the other problem with the Switch is people are saying like, oh, if you do anything, you brick it. apparently the people that were saying if you do X, Y, and Z, if you break it, we're all lying out their ass.
Well, that's good to know. at
And like
least.
the MIG switch thing, especially, that's not bricking the system. Anything they're doing is not bricking the system.
Don't get me started on the bricking stuff. I've been fighting off retards up on that front literally since the announcement of Nintendo being able to have the ability to do that.
Now there are some concerns, like if the battery starts inflating, you got to replace the battery. Does that count as
that's a
modified?
different thing, though.
I wasn't. My argument was never that there weren't concerns. My argument was always, where were you motherfuckers in the Xbox 360 era when Microsoft could do the same fucking thing,
Yeah, no,
or the
exactly.
Wii? When Nintendo could do this for the Wii as well. I actually have a buddy who got his Wii bricked because he modded it, illegally downloaded a bunch of games. Then his little brother, 2 or 3 years later, ran a software update or system update or whatever, and lo and behold, that triggered Nintendo's response. Dude got in some fucking legal trouble, by the way. But the point is, this has been a practice for video game companies, good or bad, we can argue that, since like 2006, 2007, but motherfuckers want to act like Nintendo is the first one to ever do this just now, and this is a new thing, when it's not. So if you want to say this is bad, by all means, I actually do agree that it's bad, but don't pretend like this is new or Nintendo's the first to do it. This has been going on for damn near 20 years.
Exactly. I would say the biggest problem right now with Nintendo is the $80 games. But
Even then, I agree and disagree with that. It's I've been saying for like a year now, games are gonna start being damn near $100. I think that GTA will be the first $100 game.
Oh,
GTA
yeah.
6, that is. Is $80 games a problem? I agree, absolutely it is. However, if Nintendo wasn't the first to do it, Microsoft would have been, or if Microsoft wasn't, Bethesda specifically would have been, or Bethesda wasn't, Rockstar would have been. The
Yeah,
point is,
exactly.
someone had to pull that trigger. And
Well-
people are acting like it's a Nintendo problem when no, this was coming no matter what. And if anyone makes games worth $80, it actually probably is Nintendo.
Exactly. I gave the example
Yeah,
a few
probably.
weeks ago where it was Elon. Like everyone was like, "Oh, we're overhiring. We don't want to fire anyone." And then Elon just kicked the can and started just firing people left and right when he bought Twitter. That was what opened the floodgates to just allow
And
everyone to
Twitter
start.
works exactly
firing.
the same.
Yep, exactly. Like, I wouldn't have been surprised if they moved to the $70 standard for all their games. That wouldn't have shocked me. I was a little surprised by 80, but oh well.
Too. And again, I'm not happy about it. I just also everyone's rallying around till they be super anti-Nintendo, and it, to me, blows my mind. It's like Nintendo's been giving us good quality games since the inception of Nintendo in the gaming industry. Why are you guys not acknowledging that this dam was going to burst at some point, and talk about the state of gaming as a whole instead of lobbying all these accusations at Nintendo specifically? It's very narrow-minded in my opinion, very tunnel-visioned.
No, absolutely.
It's a complex issue, in my personal opinion, because when I listened to Mr. Mediker talk about it, and he's like, "Well, here's the problem. A long time ago, they did say that when we were getting digital download games, that games were going to be cheaper because if a game is digital only, it shouldn't cost the same as a cartridge game." And it's like, yeah, I
Agreed.
kind of agree with that. I definitely agree with that. If I'm not paying to have a piece of plastic that comes to my house with me, yeah, it should be a little bit cheaper. That didn't happen. So, like, the fact that we're getting increases on games is, I think, to some people a little upsetting, when it shouldn't be as expensive when we aren't paying for these cartridges, but now we are paying for these cartridges just so we can download the game. So I do think it is kind of complex, because I actually talked to some family members that are in business, and they're like, well, maybe it's inflation. It's just like, yeah, but I don't feel like that's really all it is.
If
I
it
don't
was
know.
inflation, it would have
I do think inflation is a part of it, but I don't think that's all of it.
Yeah. If it was inflation
Yeah.
directly, we would have seen this like a year or two ago. Not
Well, to be fair, we sort of did with Tears of the Kingdom being the first $70 Switch game.
Yeah.
Like, I chalked that one up to inflation. That's because it was the first thing, and that was around the time eggs were going up exponentially. Biden was still in office, things like that. I was like, damn, we be feeling the effects of inflation, bro. But I think there's more to it now. Here we are 2-3 years after Tears of the Kingdom, and it's not just inflation.
Oh yeah, no.
No.
Also,
No,
Magma,
it's
don't
absolutely
worry.
not.
We'll be talking about that. Good quality looks at Pokemon. Oh, I have choice words for Game Freak after today.
I have got plenty to say about Pokemon. But yeah, we'll hang tight. By the way,
did you see Game Freak's
there's
announcement
been
today?
some supers. I don't know when you guys usually hit supers, but there's been several, so I don't want to.
Oh, I will take a break after this. I do have a text to speech to the ones that are over 5 read out loud. And sometimes
okay.
I'll reread them, but yeah. So we'll get to supers after before we go on to the game announcement
Yeah.
stuff.
So we'll go through.
I just
Muda.
want to make sure that I was I was like holding that up or whatnot. My bad.
No, you're
No,
fine.
you're totally fine. You're totally fine.
If anyone's holding up, it's me because I just won't stop talking.
No, you're listen, Temp. This is your night that I do with you, so it's good. That's why we call it Dogwave.
Anyway, we have. Well, I don't know how long of this Muda video you want to watch. If you want to watch the whole thing or not.
We'll just watch a couple minutes of it
Okay.
because, like, literally, it starts cycling 6 minutes in, so we'll just
Fair.
watch 3 to 5 minutes.
Understood.
And I've basically covered it. I've not been the most positive viewer of it, especially around certain things like those game key cards, and especially about their TOS, when apparently it seems like they can just brick your systems, and more specifically around the fact that maybe the system is in fact a brick when you ended up picking it up. Now, as you all know, yesterday I made a pretty big mistake. I actually made a video with the Switch 2 inside the actual frame. I actually had one on screen. I bought one. I used it to play Cyberpunk 2077 on it.
Now, in his defense, I've actually heard the Switch 2 version of Cyberpunk is actually very good.
I
have
heard,
too.
yeah. I have, yeah.
Now, it is, to be fair, it is still the Steam Deck version with some added Switch 2 upgrades, but still, you know, the fact it's running on a Switch at all is great.
Yeah. Yep.
And chat,
I
don't worry,
Okay.
we are going to get to what Game Freak did today. It's...
I say we'll talk about that before we get to the game trailers. It sounds like that would be a fun thing
Oh
to
yeah,
talk
no.
about. So.
Game Freak shit the bed today, and it's glorious.
Oh boy. All right. Well, we'll finish this, read supers, then talk about that.
Yep.
Now, the reason why this was a pretty big mistake, and I do absolutely believe I should actually apologize to my audience, is I didn't practice what I preached, you know? I said, you should vote with your wallet, and what did I do? I straight up charged my card and got the Switch 2. And for that, it's actually a pretty big apology. Like, there's no way to really say anything. There's no really any way to sugarcoat it. It's an actual mistake. You know, you can sit and blame other people, but ultimately... You know, I think I think the community kind of made it known that I would be.
No, don't bother. It was spurting.
Now,
Oh, you're good.
I'm going to defend him a little bit when he says, like, you should vote with your wallet. I'm guilty of this. I have bought Persona 3 Reload when I shouldn't have. I have bought Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D when I shouldn't have. But you know what? I still enjoyed my time with them.
Yeah, but you're not here apologizing about
That's
it.
true.
That's
Right,
the difference.
Yeah.
Be one of
Anyway,
those gamers
continue.
that would fall into FOMO, and even though that I don't personally think that I'm the reason that video games have just gotten more expensive, ultimately the actions that I did do contribute to the fact that video games would have gotten more expensive, or at least the aspect of it would become more normalized. And ultimately, there's really no other way to, you know, just apologize and say that I'll do better moving forward, you know? And to be fair, the biggest sigh
I'll
of
do
relief
better.
for me
I won't buy
is
the next
to
console.
sit
It's
over
fucking
here
weird.
and apologize for purchasing a video game system, right? There's a lot of things that a YouTuber can do that would be very illegal, very wrong, ethically, not even just legally, that I could sit down here and apologize for. And that is the only thing
He's
that
kind
I
of,
really
self-
thank God today
self-aware.
for not doing. You know, I could apologize for far more worse, but, you know, realistically, it's just apologizing for purchasing the system that, you know, I kind of made a big hullabaloo about, right? And obviously, gaming boycotts are something that, unfortunately, traditionally do not work, just because people end up buying them.
He's like trying to justify it now.
Now, he is right. When the Genshin boycott happened, that didn't work at all.
No, I know. I agree. Yeah, it doesn't work. But like, he's trying to justify his hypocrisy when, again, you don't need to do this. Just say, I decided to buy
disagree.
it.
Gaming boycotts work when the general sentiment of the gamers is aligned. For example, Sweet Baby Inc. based boycotts did in fact work. There's not been a successful Sweet Baby Inc. game in the last year and a half because
That's
most
true.
people are in alignment on the Sweet Baby Inc. situation. The Hogwarts Legacy boycott didn't work. Why? Because most people don't give a fuck about the faux outrage about fucking trannies or whatever. People don't give a fuck about Nintendo Switch 2 because people love Nintendo. Nintendo is the Disney of Japan. The shit was going to be successful anyway. So gaming boycotts work when there's something that the entire gaming community rallies around as being an actual bad thing. Gaming boycotts don't work when there's a split, when there's division amongst the community. There are people divided on Nintendo and on the Switch too. But guess what? Nintendo's got 40-ish years of goodwill built up amongst fans and brand loyalty amongst fans. That was never going to work. South of Midnight, the boycott absolutely fucking worked.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. You know what's funny is he might be talking about the wrong boycott. Excuse me, the wrong boycotts. Not working. Because he does strike me as one of those individuals. But yeah, like legitimately, the entire video was just this, where he will try and justify now for pretty much the rest of the video why it's okay.
I want to address someone in your chat.
Yeah, go ahead.
Dylan Sinus. I got my start as a Magic the Gathering / Wizards of the Coast channel. That's where the name Words of Paradise comes from. It's a play on the magic card Birds of Paradise. Let me tell you, fucking don't buy from WotC directly. I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money, but I'm going to tell you how you should spend your money. Go third party, buy it from your buddies, buy it from your local game shops as singles, buy it from Card Kingdom, whatever. Don't buy sealed product from WotC because they're a bunch of fucking douche canoes, if I'm going to say the nicest thing I can say about them. So if you're spending $200 on Magic cards tomorrow, don't buy a sealed product. WotC doesn't fucking deserve it. They are cancer, and you might be a Final Fantasy fan. If you're a Final Fantasy fan, Godspeed to you. Good luck to you. Buy third party. Buy individual singles. All I gotta say.
Chat, as far as stream working, I don't know. I had nothing on my end is saying the stream is working. I walked away to use the bathroom, so if the model stopped moving, that's why.
Oh, okay, fair enough. No, yeah, so I actually had to stop playing Magic because it was too expensive for me.
Yeah.
And that was after I opened a Fate Reforged box and got a Spirit Ugin in it, and I wasn't even I had bought it randomly because it was on eBay and it was like $60. It was like, why not? And then I opened it and I was like, what the fuck? And then I sold it, and I think that's one of my biggest regrets is that I sold it.
Oh, that's a massive regret. I'm a massive again. I'm a tournament player. I haven't played recently because like Magic is just as full time as YouTube. You've got to pick one or the other. And because my channel was like doing so well, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to have Magic take a back seat. But I'm a tournament player. Again, got my start as a Magic and D&D based channel, and like I love the game. I fucking hate Wizards of the Coast.
Oh yeah, no.
That's
Wizards
fair.
deserves nothing but hate.
I will say,
Agreed.
even though I did sell all my cards, I did keep the first expansion that got me into Magic, and that was the Kaladesh one. So I have a full book of Kaladesh.
I still have the cards I bought when you were last here.
And you haven't touched.
Yeah, no, I just grabbed the binder of what they are now.
The one thing I do want that, unfortunately, because like when Kaladesh came out, they had a like set of oddities that came in like one in every palette or something. And it's just like there are 40 of them, and they are like the cards that you have to dream to open up in a random pack. They each cost like hundreds of dollars each, and you can't use them in tournament play, but they were like very pretty looking cards.
Are you talking about like the you can't use them in tournament play? You're talking about like the Unbound or Unleashed or whatever, like the
No, I would have to look them up, but like Kaladesh had like a special set of cards that very few stores got their hands on. That you could open up in different boxes, and like they were like little oddities. And I think it was like supposed to represent that they were all different like inventions, because Kaladesh was all about inventions and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That was the only ones I didn't
I
have.
haven't seen these cards, but yeah, that's awesome. I normally keep my main commander deck just right off the camera to the side here, but I moved it because I was playing my buddies the other night.
Yeah. Fair enough. But yeah, I used to love Magic a lot. I got into it when I was a missionary, but then it was just like, it's expensive.
It's expensive.
And then I decided to just buy art instead.
It is a bit of a cheaper hobby than Warhammer, though. As someone who's recently gotten into Warhammer.
No way cheaper than Warhammer.
Yeah, it's fair.
God.
When a mini costs as much as a deck, yeah. I agree.
And I've only played Warhammer a handful of times, and I love playing Warhammer, but I always played with my buddies who already had multiple armies, so I just used theirs. I was not ready for the financial investment of this Warhammer. So I'm a Warhammer casual.
No, like last month I bought like $250 to $270 worth of Warhammer.
And how many figures was that?
2 boxes.
How many figures was that? Like 20?
No. 45.
Print your minis? Yeah, if you have a 3D printer, I would say that's more
minis.
worth it.
Yeah, print your minis. Hard agree.
But like,
I got a buddy who had a nice side hustle. Like he would he was a very talented artist, and he had a side business where he would paint people's minis, and like theme them and whatnot. He did like Alien vs Predator themed minis, and he did like Nintendo themed minis, and they were beautiful.
Oh, I bet.
Hand done stuff. Oh, it's amazing. He would get paid well for it too.
Oh yeah.
I bet. That's awesome. Temp, let's listen to about 1 more minute of this, and then we'll move on.
Okay.
And in this case, I was one of those people. Now, I do want to kind of defend myself a little bit and just kind of talk about this, you know, because I don't want to just say that, you know, I don't want to just say sorry. I do want to give an explanation. Obviously,
Can I just say his computer in the background is really bothering me? As someone who's a
One
tech
is
nerd,
flashing.
that is a problem because his RGB is like turning off. So an RGB header is probably just having a heart attack in that computer.
I don't know.
Also, that's an HP computer. Fuck HP.
that night I was coming home, bought a Switch, and one of the reasons I wanted to buy the Switch is to kind of look at that brick capability. I wanted to see if you can fire the system up, you can make a local account, you can connect without, you know, utilizing any patches, and thankfully you actually can, you know, as long as you have a Switch 2 and of course a game, which this is something that I'm actually keeping stock, or not just actually, I had a Cyberpunk 2077. As long as you have a game with an actual, you know, completed update on the cartridge, this system is completely usable offline, which was pretty important to me because I didn't want to see another system release as a pure on brick. So as long as you have a system with, again, a video game, it seems things can just work out of the box. Now, as far as Switch 1 stuff goes, that still needed you to patch for getting the backwards compatibility going in. But if you
That
were
is
just...
pretty dumb.
Yeah. Did I tell you
That is
about
pretty dumb.
what we talked about with that?
No. What did you do? What?
So, Linus did a video on Short Circuit, one of his other channels.
Oh, yeah.
Unboxing the Switch 2, and he used Breath of the Wild as like an example of how the Switch 2 would run, and it was running at a capped 30 frames, even though we know it can do 60.
Yeah, I know.
And he
I
found
remember
out
that. Yeah.
that he had to pay the extra $10 or buy the Switch 2 version just to get the extra frames.
Yeah. That frustrates the fuck out of me. Paying $10 just to get 60 frames.
Yeah.
Ugh.
buying Switch 2 games, then surprisingly, everything just worked out of the box. The other thing I wanted to see was, again, the functionality of these games too, especially one game completed on the system. And for that, I played Cyberpunk 2077. In fact, that was a pretty massive section of the video where I just showed the game actually running for anybody to come into the video, watch, and see. Now, I could make the video overly negative, or I could make it overly positive, but the reason I just kind of went the way that I did was I wanted to just objectively look at this product as what it was and talk about things, right? And, you know, one of the things that I kind of read was like, the grifter stuff. You were just grifting on that hate. Well, if I was grifting on the hate and I released that, you know, video, I would probably be overly negative, or I would try to spread some level of misinformation to garner more viewership on hating the device or loving the device. But in reality, I just wanted to cover things from an objective perspective. I wanted to show that there were some games, Cyberpunk 2077, which worked out of the box day one. Now there are...
All right, that's about enough, honestly. Because again, like I said, he starts to loop back and forth on just like apologizing. But like, yeah, the reason why did he buy it? He wanted to test the capabilities of it, like a guy that's a nerd, that's into computers and consoles and shit is gonna want to do. And it's just like, I don't care if he buys it. Just like stop groveling.
If I did what he does as my content instead of just reporting on news or just gaming, I would have bought a Switch 2 just to report on it and what it does. That's content. That's stuff you can do with it. There's no problem with that.
Yeah. So I just don't. I don't get it. I really don't get why he's just like having to apologize, because he shouldn't have to apologize, because this is
Well,
like
he doesn't
a man.
have to. He's so internet brainwashed. He's so audience captured that he thinks he's doing the right thing here, which is, in my opinion, is objectively incorrect. But I feel like this video is the definition of audience capture.
I agree. I 100% agree. I mean, like, again, like, this is the third or fourth time that he's come out and apologized like this. He did it with Nux. He did it when he said he would stop talking about politics, and now he's doing it again with this. And it's just like, motherfucker, you are one of the most popular YouTubers in the world. People will watch you. Stop apologizing because you don't need to.
Yep.
Anyway, it was all right with both of you. I want to go through the super chats.
You are
since,
quite all right.
Yeah.
Since we need to tonight, really quickly, Words of Paradise, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships again. Very much appreciated.
Happy to do it.
If anybody got a membership tonight, make sure you say thank you. Excuse me. Devastator 2000 for 2 Canadian. The Switch 2 is disappointing, to be honest. Yeah, again, I'm just not that interested in it right now. Like I told Temp, I am planning on, if I do buy games for it, I will just buy them and then tell him to find a port for it so that I can play it on the Steam Deck.
I'm still working on that.
Yeah, you are still working on that.
I hope to have that
yeah.
set up before you arrive in a couple weeks.
Well, the plan is I'm gonna bring my Steam Deck and hopefully we can get those ROMs on there so that I can just play Wind Waker HD on the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because it's just like I decided when the Steam Deck 2 came out, or not, the Switch 2 came out, I was just like, there's no justifiable reason for me to buy it. Like Mario Kart is cool, but I stopped playing Mario Kart a long time ago because a lot of my friends really don't care to play it, and it just stopped being that fun for me.
And the ones that do are overly competitive.
Yeah, a lot of the friends that I played it with kind of made it.
I haven't gotten like down on Mario Kart games since Mario Kart Wii. I think like I played 8 a little bit, and it just felt, I don't know how to explain it, but like it physically felt different than 64, Double Dash, Wii, the whole 9, and I just didn't get into it.
No,
Double Dash is my favorite one. That's the one that I started on. It's a good one.
Double Dash is my favorite as well.
No, I despise Mario Kart.
Some of my favorite maps.
After
You have a good reason too.
The same friend that Occo was talking about. I just can't stand Mario Kart. It's too competitive. I get angry just playing it.
Yeah.
Wow, don't ever play Smash Bros.
Oh, that friend also ruined Smash Bros for both of us too.
God damn it, bro! I won't lie. I'm a tournament player when it comes to Smash Bros. I'm a hardcore Smash Bros. Player. However, I can delineate between mentality of being in a tournament and mentality of sitting on the couch with your fucking buddies and just chilling and drinking and playing.
No, yeah.
Oh, that's good.
This friend
Our
was
friend
always on the
didn't.
case of you have to play every day or you're not going to be up to our standard. Bitch, please.
Pretty much. They're not a friend anymore. But Wolfsbane for 2, Xbox Butter just for the Fratanga memes.
Bro, fuck Fratanga. How do you say his name? I hate that bitch. He and I have gone fucking rounds on X. That dude is absolute fucking queer.
So here's what's crazy about him. I had never tweeted him before, but I basically, like, when the first Grums video came out, I was like, dude, this video makes me like Grums more. And he's just like, oh, you're just a Grums dick rider. And I was like, where the fuck did you come from? I've never said your name before.
Thing
So
is,
like,
I've streamed with Grums multiple times. I don't like Grums. I've said that to him. Like
Yeah.
he and I, and here's why I don't like Grums, mind you. I've streamed with Grums multiple times. He says shit I agree with, says shit I disagree with, like most people. You know, buffet that shit. Sometimes you take a little of this, take a little of that, and I made videos criticizing him. He was supposed to be coming on my show. It's about, I don't know, 6 or so months ago. He's supposed to come on my show. We had all set up, had all ironed out, everything. The day before he comes on, I made a criticism video. Again, nothing personal. I made plenty of videos, but shit he says I agree with him. Dude fucking ghosts me the day of my show because I assume because he's fucking butthurt about the video I made. Now, he and I are in the same fucking group chat with several other people. He goes out of his way to not respond to me. Anybody else in the group chat is fine with, but not me. He's like, motherfucker, are you so fucking butthurt that I disagree with something you said? No, fuck you, dude.
That's dumb. All I want is this man to finish his fucking game so that people can stop making videos about it because I'm bored of it.
I
And he can go
agree.
back to doing stuff on Twitter. I don't care. But
I
he
agree.
needs to finish.
I was following Grums on Twitter back in like 2017 or 2015, like before he got banned, and he was consistent back then too. He was saying the same shit now he was saying back then. I will give him credit for his consistency, but the dude is, in my opinion, he's lost it. He's lost the plot, and I think he makes those of us that were there for OG Gamergate, that do sort of quote unquote anti-woke content for gaming, the whole 9. I think he makes us look bad because he's so quick to try and be the first to cover something that he never fact checks shit. He's gotten so much wrong the last year or so. I think it's a net negative for the Gamergate movement.
No,
absolutely.
No, I do think that he is used as a reason for people to point and say your movement sucks, and it's just like,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah. If he was around, if Medicare was still around, like now, Medicare would leave probably because of him. Let's see here. Mercenary for 5. Unlike Mutahar, I didn't get the Switch 2. Won't. Waiting for the OLED at best, but the Switch 2 is the same as the Virtual Boy and Wii U. It's a bleak 4 Switch. It is bleak 4. Yes, it is bleak 4. I imagine.
I'm going to be a little more optimistic because it also happened with the 3DS. The 3DS had a horrible launch, and then Nintendo turned it around. Admittedly, that was during Iwata.
GameCube also had a horrible launch. To be fair, GameCube was technically a failure when you look at it, but like people romanticize the GameCube and look back on it fondly. The Switch 2, look, PS3 also had a horrible launch. PS5 is still horrible 5 years later, in my opinion. Like, Switch 2 might have a bad launch, but to compare it to the Virtual Boy, a system that only got like 18 games in its entire life cycle, or even to compare it to the Wii U, which did have some fucking bangers, the problem with the Wii U was marketing. I think that's a bit disingenuous.
No, absolutely. Like, well, that's why I want to see where the Switch 2 is like a year or two from now when we have more games. Because we know the FromSoft game is coming out next year. We don't know what Nintendo has planned for the end of this year. Besides maybe Metroid.
And maybe I'll change my mind on them.
Metroid
maybe.
Prime 4 look fucking...
I'm playing it day one.
I'm
game
excited
that might get me to buy a Switch 2, mind you. I say I'm waiting for the next Zelda or Mario. But bro, new Metroid Prime could be the game that makes you get a Switch 2.
I mean, well, it's coming out on Switch 1. I will play it on Switch 1, and then I might upgrade it when I get a Switch 2 eventually.
I'm really excited for that new FromSoft game that's going to be on the Switch 2, but I don't know if I'll wait. I know that Lumi was thinking about buying a Switch 2 specifically just for that game.
It depends. I've heard some of our friends in our circle be like, I don't know if I want to play it because it sounds like it's going to be like an extraction shooter like FromSoft game. But
really?
I haven't seen any evidence of that. Like, oh my god, it's PvP. Every FromSoft game has had a level of PvP to a degree or online capabilities. I need to see more before I judge it. Because people judged Night Rain when that was coming out. And now that it's out, people are loving it. So...
Interesting.
I want to see more. I need to see more.
No, I do too.
Because I'm okay
Magma
with
for
FromSoft
5.
experimenting.
Me too. Typically, they don't do terribly. Magma for 5. I'm shooting myself in the foot with buying the Xbox Ally X on release due to the devs saying it can run on all platforms and launchers, i.e. Steam and Xbox.
Yeah.
Is it not able to?
So that was an announcement that Microsoft made today, is that they're partnering with Asus to do their own handheld. So instead of making a direct, like, Xbox handheld, they're partnering with Asus to make an ROG Ally X with the Xbox-specific app, like their operating system on it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they're talking about.
Oh,
So
shit.
we don't know quite about what's going on there because it's not out yet.
Mr. Medicare goes live in 20 minutes. Oh, my gosh. I didn't know he was planning to stream today.
Well, you'll just have to catch up on
Oh,
it.
my gosh. Yeah. No, I didn't. That's crazy. Okay. Well, I guess I know who I'm rating after I'm done with the stream tonight. Wolfsbane for 2. I'll probably buy the ROG Ally X over the Switch 2. And then the follow-up for 2 where he corrects the Ally over the Switch 2. I have not seen anything about the ROG Ally besides what you and I have talked about briefly.
I'll be back in just a moment, by the way. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Oh, you're totally good. You're good. Is the ROG Ally actually good, Temp?
The Ally X is. The Ally is, it's all right.
It's
But the X is definitely a more comparable system to like the Steam Deck. The difference is the Steam Deck is a price to performance machine. And is more console-like, whereas the Ally X is a Windows handheld.
Yeah, it's like got more performance, but it is expensive.
Yeah, it's like $800 for it.
Yeah. Let's see here. Well, Spain for 2. Sonic Racing Crossroads more than Mario Kart World.
Yeah.
That's smart. That I have not seen a lot of that Sonic game, but
Well, I'll bring up the trailer.
did they have the trailers that they showed was like
They showed SpongeBob, they showed Patrick, they showed the TMNT, they showed Alex and Steve from Minecraft, they showed off Hatsune Miku, Joker from Persona 5. I forget the character from
I'm about to say Yasuke.
Yakuza. Or Like a Dragon. It's more specifically Like a Dragon, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I've been drinking a lot tonight. I had to run to the bathroom. I heard that,
no, you're good.
but I did not know that Joker from Persona was gonna be in. I was already gonna get Sonic Crossworlds anyway, but knowing that Joker's gonna be in it,
Yeah,
that's
so
pretty fucking nice.
there's gonna be DLC for it that you have to pay for, and then there's gonna be a select bunch of free racers that they're just gonna give you in updates over time.
Okay.
And Joker is among the free racers, probably because they're all Sega related. So expect to see Sega related free racers down the road.
Fair enough.
If there's not a cart that is based on Morgana's bus, cat bus, I'd be so upset.
Yeah,
that would be pretty good.
I'm just saying, like, at least give us a color scheme.
That would be, yes, I agree. All right, let me bounce through a few more of these, and then we'll continue. Mercenary again for 2. Mark my words, this time next year, game industry gone. No, I don't think so. No, I don't think it will be gone. I just think that it is still going to continue downsizing.
I don't think
My
it'll
personal
ever be
opinion.
gone. It just needs a reset. It needs a reboot.
Now that I agree with, and that's probably coming, but not this time next year. That's too hard, too fast.
Yeah.
The gaming industry is the largest entertainment industry in the world. It dwarfs Hollywood. It dwarfs books. It dwarfs comics. Like financially, the gaming industry is the largest money-making entertainment industry in the world. Shit like that doesn't just fall off in a year.
Yeah.
No. I mean, like, again, there's definitely going to be more layoffs, 110%.
Absolutely.
But I don't think that they're just going to fall apart. Even if, like, the big 3 fall apart, you're still going to have a bunch of indie games, and Steam is going to be around forever. So
yeah.
Well, and Nintendo's not falling apart. Even if the Switch 2 is an abject failure, I was reading this article that broke down Nintendo's cash reserves. If Nintendo stopped making a game or stopped making anything, games, hardware, the whole nine, today, they have enough money that it would take almost 300 years for them to go bankrupt.
really,
Yes.
Well,
That
then you
is
also
how much cash reserves Nintendo has. So I don't know. I think Microsoft going the way of the dinosaur pretty soon. They're going to go full Sega. They're going to become publisher only. Sony maybe not long behind them. Nintendo is not going anywhere.
I'm not sure about Sony, but Microsoft, I agree.
Okay, we'll do through a few more. Mercenary again for 2. Physical media or nothing, make it law. You're not going to see that either.
No,
I'm
you're not gonna see
sorry.
What
Companies
was
are
that
too
one?
interested.
Read one more time.
Physical media or nothing, make it law.
If
Yeah,
that
that's
was the
not
case,
happening.
Steam would be
never
gone.
happening.
I wish. But yeah, Steam would unfortunately be caught in the crossfires of that. And we will end off on this one. Mercenary again for 2. What did Game Freak do to Pokemon again? Well, I don't think they did anything to Pokemon. I think they're doing something completely different right now.
Yes, they are.
Here, we'll move on and get back to Super Chats later. Thank you, chat, so much for your support tonight. It's very much appreciated.
So,
Oh, Tim, what is this? What are we looking
so
at?
this is a game called Beast of Reincarnation. This was shown off today during the Xbox showcase. Publisher Fictions and developer Game Freak have announced Beast of Reincarnation, their new post-apocalyptic adventure game originally teased as Project Bloom. Beast of Reincarnation is in development for PC and Xbox and PS5 for next year.
So no Nintendo?
No Nintendo. Now, what do you know about Game Freak, Akko?
Did they make Pokemon?
They're the Pokemon makers.
Mm-hmm.
You've
They're
seen
like
how-
the part owners.
You've seen how bad Pokemon has been the last, I don't know.
Yes.
I'm going to go 10 years.
Yes. I played the last
So if you say
mainline
less
Pokemon
than 10
games.
years, I disagree with you.
Give this trailer a watch.
はるか昔この国に
Do you already see a difference?
I mean,
I
not
see
particularly.
I see an increase in quality, I guess.
竜の獣が現れた
Do you though?
I mean, compared to like Scarlet and Violet and Legends.
Yeah, but
Arceus?
I mean, the Scarlet and Violet, Pokemon's got very. We'll pause because I want to. Pokemon has a very distinctly child-friendly art style. We would need to actually see gameplay, draw distance, whether it's got stable online connectivity. I don't think better graphics is indicative of better quality.
No, I agree there. But I you want to see like how Mario is or how Zelda is, like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, or even Xenoblade. I don't know what Dark Magic Monolith does there with those games, but you expect to see that kind of same level of quality out of at least Pokemon.
And yeah, Game Freak has got shit. They are 100% dragging Nintendo down in terms of quality. I completely agree, but I don't. based on what we've seen in the first 15 seconds of this, I see good graphics. But to me, I don't think we've seen anything to speculate that it's going to be better or worse quality yet.
Fair.
Like overall.
No, I agree with what I agree with you there.
I completely agree.
Do they show gameplay?
They do.
Oh, good.
輪廻の獣は汚れを吐き、あらゆる生物を蝕んだ。
Is this gameplay?
This is now gameplay.
Okay.
"西暦4026年、人類は滅亡を待つのみ。
It looks very pretty.
Fujigo Emma, お前こそが輪廻の獣を滅ぼす刃となる。
So that is Beast of Reincarnation. It is vastly different from Pokemon, which is good. I'm glad it is. But you could definitely tell there is a gameplay quality difference.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can also tell that games like this often have very large development cycles. When was Scarlet and Violet? What, 3 years or so ago?
I think 2 years
guarantee
ago.
you, I guarantee you, Scarlet and Violet was being worked on by, again, back to what we were talking about earlier, by a B team, while their A team was working on this, which is probably another reason Scarlet and Violet suffers so heavily in terms of quality.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that, I mean, don't get me wrong, it looks good, and if it is good, because it looks like Game Freak is trying to go down the route of FromSoft, because it kind of looks like Sekiro.
It does. I was thinking that too. It looks very FromSoft.
So, I think Game Freak has a lot of potential to do that. I would be more okay if Nintendo wanted to yoink or take Pokemon from Game Freak and just throw it out to other developers within Nintendo and just see what they can do. And maybe let FromSoft...
I wonder if that's possible, though, because Creatures Inc. also has stake in Pokemon. Pokemon's a three-way thing. It's Game Freak, Creatures Inc., Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's right. You're right.
I don't know. Now, maybe Nintendo could buy out Game Freak's portion and it be owned to a 2-1 split. I'm not entirely sure how that would work, but the point is, I agree with you that Game Freak has been dropping the fucking ball on Pokemon for a decade now, at least for their mainline games. Spin-off's been great. I fucking loved new Pokemon Snap. Holy shit, that was amazing. But yeah, and when it comes to mainline Pokemon games, I'm so disenchanted with Pokemon. Fuck it, let Nintendo / Creatures Inc. take it, and Game Freak can go on and do this sort of shit.
I mean, people have been begging. It's kind of like the Sonic situation where they let the writer for the comics start writing for the games.
Ian
where
Flynn.
it's like, let Monolith have a go at it and see what they can do, and then compare. How is the response of a Monolith-made Pokemon game versus Game Freak? Because I tell you
Dylan,
right now,
this has nothing to do. Sorry, Dylan Sidness in the comments says, I feel like this is subtly telling me that Nintendo might be suffering from the power lawsuit thing. Again, not at all. This game you can look at and tell that lawsuit's 6 months old. You don't get shit like this, trailer ready and everything in 6 months. Like this has been being worked on well before Power World was even a thing.
And you have to consider the fact that Nintendo has enough money where they could throw a giant chunk of cash at Game Freak and said, make game, do. And they could do it absolutely, no problem. So there is very clearly a problem within, at least the Game Freak side of Pokemon.
Game Freak has been the main reason for Pokemon's failings. Anyone, and that's why it bothers me. So many people jump to Nintendo and whatnot. I don't think they realize that Nintendo publishes those games. They don't, in most instances, at least the mainline games, they're not the developers for them. People see Pikachu in Smash Bros. And instantly assume, oh, Pokemon's Nintendo. I mean, it is, but it also isn't. Like, Pokemon's a very interesting case. It's not Nintendo the same way that Mario, Zelda, Metroid, Star Fox, things like that are Nintendo.
Yeah.
All the development problems with Pokemon are 100% Game Freak. And
I
always
agree.
have been.
Absolutely. Agreed. Which is why I think this stings even more. Because it's like Scarlet and Violet had honestly one of the best Pokemon stories we've had in a long time.
I thought it was pretty good, yeah.
Sword and Shield.
Like Scarlet and Violet's story, it was how fucking shit the actual quality of the game
Exactly.
was in terms of like, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Mhm.
absolutely. And apparently some of those problems are fixed on the Switch too. Which
Okay.
at least they
Do I
gave those
need to pay
updates.
for that?
No, those are free. Those are free updates. Which makes the Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom ones a little more jarring. It's like, why are you making us pay for one of these things, but not the other? And the reason why is just, it's Zelda. They're going to pay for it anyway.
Right.
But Pokemon has been on the shit end for years, and Nintendo knows that.
Man, that's insane.
I think what has people a little surprised is this is a Game Freak game, and you'll notice there's a lack
No
of
Nintendo.
Nintendo.
Probably
in
just
this-
can't run on the Switch. I don't know.
It could probably run the Switch too.
Mercenary. I know we normally do. You guys do super chats in chunks, so I'm very curious, and I don't know if you'll be watching when we get
No,
the
you're
super
fine.
chats. Why do you think Ian Flynn should never write for Sonic? He's literally the savior of the canon. Like as
He's the reason why
a
the movies are
massive
good.
Sonic fan, and as a I can't stand Ian Flynn's politics and shit like that. Like I don't like Ian Flynn in terms of who he is off the book, but when it comes to the actual writing of Sonic, why should he never write for Sonic again? I'm very interested in what you have to say.
he did the Metal Virus arc in the IDW comics, and that arc was fire.
It's some of the best Sonic writing I've
And
ever seen. Is the metal.
that
You
arc
guys
was
you
already
both could argue about Sonic for a while. I
that
feel
arc
like
was
you both
already
love Sonic.
planned to be in the Archie comics, so we would have had the Archie version of
Really?
that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so
I didn't know that Metal Virus was
um,
going to be Archie. That's
s-
by the way, Archie is better than IDW.
Oh, I
think
agree.
everybody can agree on
Well, okay, sorry. I'm gonna rephrase that. Pre-reboot Archie is better than current or well.
Oh,
what people-
you mean pre Super Genesis Wave? That's
Yes.
When I say Archie comics, I'm always just inherently talking pre Super Genesis Wave. Yes.
No, yeah. But that was going to be so they were doing their classic arc where they did another Genesis wave because fuck it, why not? And then they were gonna have after that the Metal Virus. So we would have actually seen like potentially like the Archie cast with that. But because Sega canned that, then they did it in Archie or in IDW instead.
Yokai, you are like objectively incorrectly when he says because Ian Flynn doesn't know how to write Sonic as a character and Amy as a character. You're objectively wrong about Sonic. Sega came in because of the way that Archie handled Sonic. Sega came in and they made mandates about how Sonic specifically himself has to be written. Ian has to legally write in line with what Sega wrote out in those contracts.
Exactly.
As far as Amy, this one's subjective, but I still think you're wrong. Amy cannot be the same Sonic the Hedgehog fangirl with no character for 25 fucking years straight. She needs character development. Now, you might not like where her character went. All right, fair enough. But she at least has character development. And Amy's my second favorite character. Amy's been my second favorite character since 1999. So, as someone who hates wokeness and girl bosses and whatnot, hey, I'm right there with you in terms of female characters, if that's the assumption you're making. But Amy's fine. Amy's actually the best she's ever been in terms of the books.
No,
I would say that she has a little bit. I would prefer her with a little bit more character development rather than just chasing after Sonic in the 3D games because that can
Well,
get kind
they
of boring
backed
in the
off of
3D
that.
games.
with
Yeah, they did.
Frontiers. They backed off
Yep.
of that and basically said, she wants to kind of do her own thing.
Hmm.
Yeah, I loved Amy in Frontiers. And again, I'm unabashedly like my favorite Sonic characters in order are Sonic, Amy, Shadow, Tails, Knuckles. Like,
A lot
those
of
are my five.
people's problems with Ian Flynn come down to Shadow, but that's not Flynn. That's
Again, that's
Sega.
not his fault. That's Sega. Sega
In
said
fact,
make Shadow dumb.
No, they said make Shadow Vegeta.
Whatever. They
Exactly.
made him not
Most people
deep.
don't know that. Like, Shadow was never okay. I should say never because actually Shadow was directly inspired by Vegeta, but then he started going a different route, and Shadow was getting really interesting. And then I do agree there's problems with how Shadow's being handled in the comics. But by the way, just because Ian is the head writer does not mean there are not other writers.
Yep.
And now when you're the boss, shit rolls downhill. You're gonna get blamed for stuff that's not you. Look, Shadow and Metal Sonic, people have issues with them. I get why. But, like, there's so much more to Ian Flynn and to the Sonic comics and stuff like that than just each individual character. We're talking about a whole world, a whole universe of various characters, stories that have been going since 1991, if you count the inception of the games. There's going to be missteps here and there. Even the worst thing that Ian Flynn has ever done does not compare to some of the shit that Ken Penders pulled.
Oh,
for example.
absolutely.
Oh,
Completely agree.
100%.
Penders
And
is
Penders has ruined it
Penders
for
is the reason
everybody.
why Sonic was in the shit state he is for years.
Agreed.
Now I want your opinion. You've read the Metal Virus saga.
I have. I love it. I love
That
it.
should have been Shadow the Hedgehog too. Sonic should have turned fully zombie, and that should have turned into a Shadow story.
I take a slightly different approach. I think that should have been Sonic 06 2.
Fair. Also fair. Maybe an entirely Silver story instead.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Silver story. Maybe have Shadow there in the future because of Chaos Control and whatnot. But I think it should have been a Silver story.
They could have
featuring
removed Sonic from the equation, and that final battle against the Zavik should have been Super Shadow, Super Silver instead.
But that being said, I wouldn't mind it being a Shadow sequel as well. But I did you play Sonic Shadow Generations?
I did.
I loved the Shadow story. It's probably it's the best time I've had with Sonic. Well, I was gonna say Frontiers was amazing. I loved Frontiers. It's not amazing. It's amazing for modern Sonic. It's like a 7 out of 10 for Sonic, which for Sonic is like a 10 out of 10 because Sonic hasn't been good since in like 15 years or whatever. In a lot of instances, but like Sonic a Shadow Generations, the Shadow story was probably the most fun I've had, barring Frontiers, since like the Sonic Heroes, Sonic Shadow the Hedgehog, that era of games.
Damn.
Well, okay,
it's really
Sonic
sad
Unleashed.
to say that, but I know what you mean.
I put a counter argument. I really liked Sonic Unleashed. The Werehog felt actually a lot.
I like Sonic Unleashed too, but I still think that Heroes and Shadow were better. But I do like Sonic Unleashed.
No,
Yeah.
I
Sonic,
agree.
that's one of the games that I want on the Steam Deck, Tim, by the way, is Unleashed, because I never got to finish Unleashed when I was a kid, so I would like to finish it now.
No, that's fine.
One of my favorite
Unleashed
opening
is a lot of fun.
cinematics of Sonic history. Like, I
Oh, it's
legitimately got
one of the
upset.
best.
I was
don't
like,
know.
why didn't they continue this? This was so beautiful.
So that's actually something some people have actually brought up, and I'm while we're talking about this, I'm going to bring up the trailer
Oh, you're
for
good.
Sonic
Please do.
Racing.
Please do.
But there was
We've
a
been getting into Sonic Talk tonight, and like Resident Evil and Sonic are there's my holy trinity is Sonic, Resident Evil, and Dragon Ball. Any of those three, you're gonna get me fucking just rock hard.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would absolutely say Heroes is probably my favorite 3D game, but that's nostalgia. Heroes has a lot of problems.
Well, my
SI2.
favorite 3D Sonic game is actually my favorite video game of all time, which is Sonic Adventure. Sonic Adventure is my
Adventure's pretty
favorite
good.
video game ever made.
No, that's fair.
I'm a bigger fan of SA2 just because of the Chow Garden.
I feel like this has derailed the stream a bit.
SA2 has a better Chow Garden, I agree, but I think SA1 has a better literally everything else. But I will agree that Chow Garden and SA2 is better.
No, I agree.
But I would say because of the dark theme behind the Metal Virus Saga, it should have actually, because of the whole zombie thing, the dark tone it took, it should
Bro,
have been.
man, when Cream fucking oh, bro.
Yeah.
Or Charmy, dude. Charmy was heartbreaking.
The Tangle scene with Whisper, oh my god. So that's why I feel like Shadow should have taken center stage. That should have actually been a time to redeem the problems that Sega used on him.
Yeah, I also don't. I disagree with the writing choice of Shadow's cockiness and arrogance being what get him infected. I do think that was a bad choice, but that one choice I don't think is enough to lambast the whole arc.
No, absolutely. I completely agree. And I think the only reason why they didn't do that is because in the mandate, Sonic is never allowed to lose or really show emotion. I'm like, he should have lost.
And I think that's a net negative for Sega. Like, it's which is weird because Sonic technically does lose at a portion of Frontiers, and he's able to bounce back. Like, it seems like there's some inconsistency in what the games are allowed to do versus what the comics are allowed to do.
And I think the Frontiers definitely showed that they're willing to be more lenient, which is good. I am actually a little surprised we didn't see a proper new game during these events, because it is about that time when we'd start seeing the next mainline 3D game being talked about.
I think so. My theory, and this is just that theory, my theory is the reason we didn't see anything is because it's being saved for a Nintendo Direct.
That goes into the other theory is Unleashed has, I would say Unleashed looks as it should, like with modern games today on like the PS5 and Xbox Series X and PC. I don't know what they did with Unleashed, but it looks better than anything now.
The PS3 and Xbox 360 versions are gorgeous. The Wii and PS2 versions are
Though-
fugly.
Yeah, they are. But the people are like, well, why is Unleashed look this way when Colors, Lost World, hold on. So Akko's stream died. Akko's internet just shit the bed.
I was gonna say, yeah, we just lost the stream. That's okay.
Mine's still going. It's fine.
Oh, is this being? Is that why you guys use Restream? You do this on your channel as well?
So because we're both separate streamers, I'm also streaming my side of it since I'm the one hosting it.
Nice. I didn't realize that's how it worked. I only do solo stuff, so.
No, that's absolutely fair. But it's like why is these modern Sonic games kind of looking just kind of blurry or chunky even? Well, you have the Wii, you have the Wii U, you have the Switch. Unleashed wasn't on a Nintendo system. Nintendo stuff is commonly
Yeah, it was
underpowered.
Unleashed was on the Wii.
But the 360 and PS3 version was not. That's
Oh
the
yeah,
difference.
that version. Yeah. My bad. I misunderstood what you meant. Yeah.
So I think, and that kind of lines up because Frontiers also kind of looks like crap on the Switch versus the other.
It does. Yeah.
platforms.
So Frontiers, I have on like. I always want to get physical copies of Sonic, so I always buy the Nintendo version physically, and then I get Steam for the version I actually play. Like I got Frontiers on Steam and Wii. I got Sonic Generations, or Sonic Shadows Generations on Steam and on that's on Wii. I mean on Switch. On Switch as well. In fact, I was that dipshit, and it should be here next month. I paid for the fucking $250 Ultimate Edition through Limited Run Games. Even though I hate Limited Run Games, what they did to Carolyn and whatnot, I was like, for Sonic, I've got to fucking do it.
No, yeah.
Oh, dude, because it comes with like, I don't know if you've seen the $250 Deluxe Edition.
Oh, I have. It's gorgeous.
Sonic Shadows Generations, and it's supposed to be here next month. And oh my god, I can't. I've never done an unboxing video before. Your boy gonna be doing an unboxing video or stream for that.
I'm gonna have a bit of a hot take for you. I feel like Sonic Shadow Generations ruined Sonic Generations specifically.
What is that?
Shadow Generations uses a lot of the same tech from Frontiers, not Generations.
So I noticed that as well. However, I'm able to hand wave that because in Shadow's story they specifically mention how all the timelines, future and past, are converging. That's why you've got like the Sonic what's that shitty one where you had to create your own character?
Forces.
That's why you've got Sonic Forces levels in there. That's why Gerald.
I did that game in 3 hours.
Well, what Akko says
That game. I did that game in. By the way, hello. My internet is dead, so I'll be on my phone until it comes back.
Oh, gotcha.
But
yeah. Sonic Forces, you could be in 3. Dude, fuck that game. I mean, I own it.
No,
Fuck
I
that
beat it
game.
in one day as well. Which, but what I mean more is like the movement tech. Like I played Shadow Generations first because I already had played Generations when it came out. I just wanted to experience the new shit first. So I played Shadow Generations first, and then I went and played Sonic Generations, and Sonic Generations felt worse to play.
I agree, it did. And part of me was like, is it because I'm playing this on the Switch? And like, is the Switch really that? But no, even when I played on Steam, like, Sonic Generations did feel worse to play. But I also think it's because Sonic Generations, like even in the 3D levels, forces you into 2D so much that they had to like compensate between the 2D and 3D. The shadow levels don't do that near as much, except for the special stages. And so they were able to focus on the 3D range of motion.
No, absolutely. Real quick, Mercenary, the super chats are not lost, but they are stored in Restream. Akko, message me to remember to read those super chats.
As long as the page is still loaded, I should have all of my super chats. I will take a screenshot of them, and yeah, don't worry, they're not lost, thankfully.
Yeah, don't worry, we got them.
I have them all. I'm just going to close. I'm not going to have the page open because of how YouTube's memory leak problems are still going on. But yeah, don't worry, those are not gone. I apologize, chat. My internet ISP decided that they were going to turn off the Wi-Fi for a moment and then turn it back on. It looks like it's coming back on now, so I'll be back in call in a few minutes. I apologize about that.
Oh, you're quite all right.
And if they're not gone, I've got the stream up on my other monitor, so I've got all the super chats here.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
and
No, yeah,
well.
I should be good, but just give me a moment. I'm glad that you guys were able to talk about Sonic while my internet died. I'm so sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
You're good.
But yeah, no,
Yeah,
go ahead.
I think we
I
lost
think
him
Akko's
again.
actually dead again.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I think Akko's actually back on the computer.
Give me a moment. It reconnected me on my computer.
Okay, that's what happened. All right.
Your audio is better too.
Sonic Generations suffers with level designers don't know what to do. A lot of the levels in Generations are fantastic. It's just Generations runs off of the same Hedgehog engine crap that Unleashed in Colors does. Whereas Shadow Generations runs off the Hedgehog engine 2, which Frontiers is on. So that's kind of where some of the problems come in. Instead of updating Generations to also be on Hedgehog Engine 2, it's on the original one, which then causes some like weird gameplay issues. I honestly would have preferred Shadow Generations to be its own game and to be a little longer.
I mean, it could have definitely been because, like, isn't it like about the same length as regular Generations?
No.
No. Oh, was it like a little bit shorter? What is
Yeah,
it?
I would equate it definitely to being like the Bowser's Fury.
I don't know if I would have wanted Shadow Generations as its own game because it was also being released, if I recall, for an anniversary.
It was.
Also, like, so I mean, there's a lot to be said for whether or not Shadow is going to be able to carry his own game after the single Shadow the Hedgehog game that people got that wasn't good. That people didn't like. I like it, but like I don't know if Sega's willing to take that risk. I think they probably did the financially feasible move. Plus, HD remasters and whatnot always do numbers because people, they're locked to old hardware, things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think I'm glad that we got what we got with Sonic X Shadow Generations.
That's fair. Wolfie, thank you for the raid. How was your stream? Maybe a counter argument to Shadow Generations being its own game. They should have added a secret ending like Adventure 2, Heroes. After you finish both, and you could have had a Super Sonic and Super Shadow thing against like Black Doom, Time Eater, some amalgamation thing.
Yeah,
going back to the Eldritch Monster roots.
And also now, I haven't platinumed Shadow X Generations yet. Because I'm a trophy hunter. I love trophy hunting. But so many games came out around that time, so I kept going game to game. So that's what I'm still working on getting the plat for. That said, the trophies in that, while most of them are just carryovers from Sonic X Shadow Generations, the ones that are specific to Shadow Generations are very well done, well thought out trophies. So I can't wait to go back and redo it.
Oh, good. For those watching Akko's stream, his stream is back up. Yes, Akko's stream is back up. Thank you, chat, for waiting for that.
Yeah, it'll be under the same name, just with like a. I did change the name. The first part was just for. It was just mostly Nintendo, and now we're going to talk about Summer Games Fest. I'm trying to change the title, but like that YouTube is being stupid.
So now that you're actually back, we can actually watch the Crossworlds trailer.
Yep, I did take a snapshot of all the screenshots, and I sent them to the Knife Ear, so at least somebody got the. At least somebody has them saved.
Thank you for the sub. Oh, you know what, chat? Thank you for the reminder. Twitch button isn't working. Surprising, the Twitch button isn't working. All right. If you like the content I produce, I greatly appreciate leaving a like, subscribing, hitting the bell. For those who don't know, for anyone new around here, we're trying to hit 500 subs on YouTube. And if we hit 500 subs, I have promised chat that I would play Resident Evil 7 for the first time. So let's get to 500 subs.
Interesting.
So I'm awful with horror. Like, I cannot do horror for the life of me. So
you're a pussy. Yeah.
Yes. So chat basically said, "Hey, play Resident Evil 7." So I made it a sub goal.
As someone who, again, if you ask about top 3 video game franchises, it's Resident Evil, then Sonic, then Legend of Zelda, and I've got very mixed feelings on Resident Evil 7. As someone who's been playing Resident Evil since literally the first game.
So I actually did a stream because I did a test stream when I wept and reloaded my computer. I had to get my sub set up. And I told chat, "Hey, when this is done, we'll try playing Resident Evil 4." Playing Resident Evil 4 on PC kind of sucks because it's so slow because it's actually an outdated version now. So like the tank controls feel really sluggish. Unlike
I streamed that for 4 hours today. The original version of Resident Evil 4. I think you were dead wrong.
That's fair. I also didn't play
I-
growing up, so I maybe don't know some of the quirks behind the game.
I think the game has aged beautifully.
Fair.
I'm actually very, very disenchanted with the remake.
Tampa with the announcement of Grounded 2. Would you like to play Grounded 1? Chat, Grounded 1 stream is happening. It's getting all of our schedules to work up with that. But it is happening.
Yeah, Temp's also terrified of big spiders, so
Yeah, I'm
Gonna make him
dragging
pursue that.
Akko and Ava into that with me because I hate spiders.
it's more like we're dragging you through that then.
Yes, exactly. So, how about we watch this trailer then? Let's get through these.
Go
Summer
right
Game
ahead.
Fest.
Let's do it before my internet dies
do it.
again, although it shouldn't for the rest of the night now.
All right. So this actually looks really good, like surprisingly well done.
My buddy was he got access Mugen Lord, if you know him, got access to closed beta and he really enjoyed it.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Here, let me turn Akko up now that Akko is back. My big thank God for this is they're bringing back Extreme Gear.
It does not play like the Extreme Gear though. It's
Oh,
effectively
really?
just skin parts.
Oh, so I'm guessing it's gonna be like the motorcycles in Mario Kart.
very
Oh,
possibly, yeah. That's one of the things that some people were complaining about. To me, it makes sense because you're not going to do a whole new, code and everything
Yeah.
just for Extreme Gear. There's my boy.
That is a good reason to just play this game. Wow.
So yeah, I don't know. I Sega has had an unfortunate time always releasing a new Sonic racing game around a new Mario Kart game and just failing miserably. And I think
yeah, but like,
Sonic racing games have usually been better.
this is very true. But we are in an interesting position now where
oh my
Mario,
gosh, I forgot that there's Minecraft in this as well.
there is Minecraft, yeah. But we're in an interesting position right now where Mario Kart World, whereas it's good, is $80 and locked to a specific hardware. Whereas Izuka came out on stage at Summer Game Fest and said, this is cross-platform. You can play on every platform with your friends.
That's
So-
kind of funny.
So, and he actually joked about it. He basically saying, and unlike other kart racing games, this one is crossplay.
Nice.
love it.
So,
I gotta love it.
I mean, I'm gonna be getting this game. I'm very excited for it.
How much is it? Did
It-
they say?
So on Steam, because it's up for pre-order now, and if you pre-order it, you also get the Werehog as a racer, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It is $70, which is not surprising.
Less.
It's not surprising.
$10
to me.
less is pretty good.
The Digital Deluxe is $90, but that also comes with like the season pass, so all the other characters and more character packs. Like it's a lot of DLC for like down the line.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just like
what's the release date?
September 25th. So we
Okay.
got 3 months till this game comes out. I will pick it up if more people pick it up. Like if it's just me thing, I'm not going to.
No, I was already gonna get it, but I didn't know if I was gonna pre-order it. But if the pre-order comes with the Werehog, I'll probably end
Yeah.
up doing the pre-order. In fact, I'll probably do Digital Deluxe because I'm gonna want all the DLC characters, especially
Yeah.
they do like. I saw there were Prime characters there at the very end.
Yeah. Let me see if I
the
can bring
trailer.
up the pre-order thing. Actually, it's right here. So yeah, like you get the Digital Deluxe, you get the Sonic Prime characters, so Rusty Rose, 9, Pirate Knuckles, and pre-order you get a Werehog cart, like a Werehog emblem, and the Werehog as an actual racer. And
My gosh, if their season pass is starting with Minecraft, what the fuck else is going to be in
it
there? 'Cause
really
I know, like, there's-
feels like they're going the Smash route with this.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, I'm just sitting here, like, if they've got access to Microsoft's list of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
That means maybe we'll get the character we should have gotten Smash and we didn't get.
Which one is
Spyro the Dragon.
oh,
maybe, or Crash Bandicoot?
I was going to say that as
look,
well.
Crash is great and all. Spyro.
My one, and this is a big one. We also have the new Sonic TCG. It's just a digital thing. It's not physical, thank God. But that apparently that's been leaked that Sega is doing 3D assets of even old characters from like the Archie comics that they have access to, like the Freedom Fighters.
Yeah, I heard that Sally was part of that.
Sally was leaked in that. Yes, we haven't seen her yet, but she was leaked. And I'm wondering, because we already know through leaks of this game that Tangle and Whisper are playable in this game. And I expect eventually Surge and Kit will be as well, and maybe Starline. If that's the case, maybe there'll be DLC.
Wait, did you say Scourge?
No, Surge. The Scourge.
Okay, I
is
was thinking
replacement.
Scourge is owned by Ken Penders. He's never coming back. Like, okay, Surge.
Don't
my
get me
bad.
started on Scourge. That one bothers me. Because Pender should not have rights to an evil version of Sonic. And then Flynn made
I
Scourge.
completely agree. I agree.
So
Anyway.
Penders should just suck a dick with Scourge, but whatever.
I agree.
Fucking Penders.
Anyway.
Ken Penders is all that is wrong in the Sonic world.
No, but
No, but
yes.
like he's a good chunk of it.
He's a good chunk of it. So another content creator I watch, Gamers Joint, basically made a post, and this is why we're not gonna go through the whole thing because there's very little here that we actually honestly care about. But some really key highlights from some State of Play, Summer Game Fest, Xbox Showcase, Resident Evil 9 being like one of the top ones.
We could look at that one.
Let me bring up the trailer for
Yes, let's do the trailer because your boy gonna get autistically.
Hell yeah. They like brought out Lady Dimitrescu's voice actor to help
the amount of
show
cock
it off.
teasing they did during Summer Game Fest for that really upset me. Because like it was funny, but during the second bit where she's like, where the creator is like, and you'll see it eventually. We're just not ready to show it yet, but you'll see it. And then it was just at the end of the show, and it's like, why?
Yeah, I'm
Likely mature.
Likely mature. So when this trailer first started, like, because I saw this was the FBI, and
Yes.
at first I thought this was Control 2.
a lot of people thought this was the upcoming X-Files game.
Also fair. So I wasn't actually certain this was Resident Evil, and then as we got to a point,
They do some shitty stuff.
I'm gonna point it out. It's probably, it's here. It's with Grace. When you see her face, it actually looks like the RE4 remake art style, which is what really clued me onto this was Resident Evil.
I mean, every Resident Evil game since Resident Evil 7 has been in the Reach for the Moon engine, but so is Monster Hunter, Devil May Cry. It's Capcom's new proprietary engine.
Yeah.
So
I know some people have a
new,
problem
right.
with Grace being
Grace.
the main character, and I don't think she is. I think she's
All right,
going to be in... I'll let you go ahead.
She's
since-
she's the main character. She's 100% gonna be the main character. She's the daughter of Alyssa Ashcroft.
Yeah.
Now, the problem with this, I said problem. I don't mind Grace being the main character. I don't have anything against Grace. I have a problem with a lot of what this trailer does, what it means for the series, what it means for the lore, things like that. Alyssa was a character in a PS2 spin-off series called Outbreak. Outbreak 1, Outbreak 2. The state of those games' canon has always been debated. Even Capcom has never really made it clear. Here we are 25 years or whatever later, what the canon is for those games, because there's two of them, they got multiple endings, stuff like that. So digging back in the vault to make your new main character the daughter of a character from a spin-off series that's canon status was debated, I already think is a bit too nostalgia baity. But then they do some even worse shit as the trailer goes on.
Okay, fair. The reason I was thinking that is like her personality just doesn't fit that protagonist feel. Because I saw your video. You were talking with Mizu, I believe, about it, and I completely agree that it felt really off. But then you go back to the leaks where it was like, oh, at first it was like Leon and Jill, and then like, oh, we took Jill out, but Leon is still involved.
Yeah, there's rumors that Leon's still involved, and maybe he is, but if he is, this is so her, as far as the main character that you were status that you're referring to, like she doesn't have the same sort of like character archetypes.
Like,
Unfortunately, Resident Evil, in my opinion, got rid of that starting with 7. So
Fair.
she actually does sort of fit in line with the 7 and 8 style characters they were writing, which I think are bad ways to write Resident Evil characters. I mean, I hope I'm wrong about this game, by the way, chat, because I know a lot of people are very excited for this. But, and I want to be wrong, because I want to be excited. It's my favorite franchise. But, yeah, I don't like the character writing in 7 and 8, and it looks like they're going along with that same trend in 9, and it's unfortunate, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, with the leaks basically saying that 9. So if you want to count Leon saying, and now I'm not a Resident Evil nerd, I've been definitely trying to keep more up with it lately. But basically saying that this game would be the finale of like the trilogy that started with like 2 and then 4. And so we were like, well, why not 6? But people are saying that this would continue the 4 story from 4. Which I'm like, that's weird.
Well, and if that's true, that's just another problem I have, because it for those of you that don't know, it's not really a spoiler because this happened in 1998 in game universe and like 1999 in the real world. Raccoon City gets destroyed. Okay, we all know that.
Yeah.
That's in this fucking trailer. So you're telling me we've had all these other games, and it turns out there's remnants of Raccoon City. You're telling me it wasn't completely wiped off the map despite previous games, and at the very least, insinuating that there's literally nothing of Raccoon City left. That even the demolition of Raccoon City by the American government was entirely covered up to where people thought it was like a nuclear reactor meltdown, things like that. So you're telling me all these years later, there's remnants of Raccoon City. In fact, a large remnant of Raccoon City, and we're just now coming back here 25 years later. Again, this fucking just reeks of desperation and nostalgia bait, because it took us this long to come out to Raccoon. It's not like you're just pulling this out of your ass.
Well,
you never had plans for this. This wasn't. It bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
No,
You tell me, Jill, Chris, Leon, Barry, none of them ever mentioned the remnants of Raccoon City and all their previous adventures up to this point.
Mhm.
It's their city where they were cops, where they're the ones that exposed this nightmare. And it turns out part of the city is actually still standing. What?
No, I completely agree.
Doesn't make a lot of sense. I agree.
A theory that I maybe came up with is because I kind of read up on Resident Evil 6 specifically, because the president in that died. But he was the father of Ashley.
No, the president in 6 is the next president.
Oh,
So,
okay.
the president in 6 is not President Graham. It is
Okay.
his successor.
Okay, understood. Well, now that changes my theory. But the theory I had was, maybe after he died, maybe Ashley kind of started training with Leon or another group, to kind of, because, a bit of a revenge
That's
thing.
insinuated in the remake of 4, and that's another problem I have with the remake of 4 is that they make Ashley, like, again, I don't have an issue with strong female characters because Resident Evil's always had those. Jill, Claire, Ada, the list goes on. Rebecca,
Sherry.
Sheva, like, they're always great. But Ashley is a pure damsel in distress. She was a 19-year-old college girl who was abducted in a foreign fucking country. Like she is not supposed to in any way, shape, or form be a strong female character. So when the remake of Resident Evil 4 comes out, and she is a lot more capable than she was in the original, and there's even lines of dialogue where she's like, "I think I'm gonna follow in your footsteps, Leon, and I'm gonna become an agent like you. I want to get stronger." And Leon's all like, "Seems like you're strong enough, kid." As opposed to in the original version, she propositions him for sex and he turns it down. Like they completely they actually took this character that's a genuine damsel in distress, and even that they couldn't help themselves but girl bossify. So you might be onto something. They might be doing that. But again, to me, if they do that, that just reinforces, the remake of Resident Evil 4 is now the real canon as opposed to the original game, which is a way better story. Resident Evil 4 remake is a good game, but it's actually a shitty reimagining remake or whatever of the original story.
Yeah.
It bothers me.
It reminds me of the Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth. They're great games.
It's exactly
They're great
the same in that
stories,
regard.
but they have problems compared to the original.
Exactly. I that's a great comparison. Also, I'm listening. I'm just looking for my ponytail.
Okay.
No,
Well,
you're
we'll
good.
continue the
You're good,
trailer
You're good.
so Akko can see it.
No, I can see it.
Asked
Yeah.
for yesterday. It'll be ready in 3. No, 2 days tops.
Put a hold on that for now. We found another body. One that exhibits the same pathology as the others we've been investigating. Now I need a good technical analyst on this.
Okay.
I need your eyes on the crime scene. The Renwood Hotel. I know that's where your mother was murdered.
So that's what's interesting. So they say, I think maybe like a minute later, that this is it's been 8 years since Alyssa died.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But which means what was the one of the endings where her and her crew make it out of Raccoon City alive is the canon ending, quote unquote.
Well, there also
Right.
is there's a newspaper in 7 that's written by Alyssa Ashcroft, which would imply that she was alive at that time.
Well, 7 takes place in, I believe, 2015.
Okay, so if that is the case,
that would be. So yeah, hypothetically, Alyssa would have died 2 years after Resident Evil 7, if I remember the year Resident Evil 7 takes place incorrectly.
yeah. So this is a pretty large jump, especially
Yes.
from 8, which we know Chris is being a bit of a douche and kind of following.
Chris is written completely out of character. Chris
Chris is following in
Resident Evil
Wesker's footsteps, which doesn't make sense.
He's. Oh, I'm very upset with how they handled Chris in 8. That is not how Chris would act.
It almost makes me wonder if maybe they're gonna go on the route of like, this is like evil clone, kind of like how maybe some Batman comics would handle it.
I mean, I would prefer. Here's my ponytail. I would prefer that to this actually being Chris and him being this much of a fucking out of character asshole out of nowhere.
I mean, that's how they could tie Leon in, and basically saying like he's been investigating why Chris has been so whacked out.
Mm.
And
Well, also, Resident Evil 7, the ending of Resident Evil 7 made this big deal about a company called Blue Umbrella, which we've got almost no information on. Wasn't really followed up on much in 8, and now you're telling us that, what's this game got to do with Blue Umbrella? Or are you just going to leave that plot thread hanging?
Well,
Like you did with several other plot threads in other games.
So there definitely is like some weird plot holes here. It's weird. I hope they explain some of it. Because, they have a chance here to, cleanly, cohesively explain some of these things if they do it right. But it's very possible this could be an RE6 situation where it's like they're just kind of mixing every plot line together, and if they're also tying it to 4, so then you have the parasites from 4, the mushrooms from 7 and 8, the T virus potentially in this. Like, it feels like there might be too much going on.
Well, it also, I'll wait till the trailer's over. We'll keep going.
Okay.
What I'm going to say hasn't been shown yet.
Alyssa died 8 years ago. Perhaps it's time for you to face the past.
Very mean of a black man to say that to her.
What is this? Hey! Help!
Stay close. They're coming.
I know now that you're the one that I've been searching for. The special one. The chosen one.
Alright, so pause real quick. The going theory right now is that this dude is trying to make some sort of virus, and he needs somebody who is immune, who's got virus antibodies in them, and that he's the one that killed Alyssa. He was the serial killer because Alyssa got infected some point in Resident Evil Outbreak, but she has the antibodies, so she was one of the very few immune, kind of like how Jill is. Which, by the way, being immune to the virus and having that's all fucking retcon. That's neither here nor there. So they're saying that since Alyssa's dead, this dude is after now her daughter because she would hypothetically be carrying the same immunity antibodies that her mother had. That's the going theory.
Okay.
But I don't like that because this makes it very much true crime-ish, which Resident Evil has always been sci-fi horror. People need to understand that Resident Evil is not just a horror game, it is sci-fi horror. It has always been about man-made scientific inventions going awry and the normal humans overcoming insurmountable odds to right the ship, expose government corruption, things like that. Like Resident Evil has very sci-fi themes. So by making it very true crime-esque, like you've got this serial killer dude or whatever here, I think just robs from the identity of Resident Evil even more.
No, right.
I agree. No, I 100% agree with you there.
Now I did hear some theories after the trailer came out, and you might have noticed, I don't know, that Leon is actually hurt in the trailer.
Yes, he is hurt in the trailer. I'm calling into question how much the game he'll actually be involved in, because Chris was in the final scene of 7, and he's in 10% of 8. So it seems like when they use the legacy characters as of late, they're using them less and less. So like Leon is my favorite character besides Jill. Like Leon and Jill are my top 2 favorites. And I thought we were going to get Leon and Jill together in this game. They've never been in a game together before. That's what I've been wanting like since the 90s. We've still never gotten it. So I was like, well, if Leon's in this trailer, that's all well and good, but are they just going to treat him like they did Chris in the previous 2 games, where he's got a grand total of 30 minutes of screen time between the 2, and that's it? He's just there, again, for nostalgia bait?
Which, there is a lot of nostalgia bait in this trailer. Like, don't get me wrong, a lot, like, this, the second I saw...
Here, you paused in the perfect frame. All of this Raccoon City is still around after it was fucking wiped from the map. Like, Leon has a line of dialogue that literally says they wiped Raccoon City from the map. Now we've got a fucking skyline of it still around?
Yeah.
30 years later? Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, and this also calls into question. And maybe, you know, the whole... Because how zombie apocalypses are depicted is like, at least in media, is once one starts, that's it. But if the entire city wasn't wiped out, how much of the T-virus still remains?
Well, so Resident Evil's done a very good job of answering this. So after they wiped out Raccoon City, there were like previous scientists, developers, people that worked for Umbrella that had access to the virus, that skipped town, that got out early, that sold the virus on the black market, stuff like that. And the reason that the viral outbreaks have never gone worldwide is because they've very sparingly been used. Sometimes you've got scientists that'll sell it to a terrorist group on the black market, and the terrorist group will like release it into a city or on a tanker ship or whatnot. And you've got the Biohazard Security Assessment Agency gets sent in, they clean that shit up, they quarantine it, it's done. Like the American government, and not just the American government, the United Nations has a biohazard basically SWAT team that Chris and Jill helped found. And they go in, they take care of this shit. So there's a reason the virus outbreaks have very rarely, if never, gone global. Like they actually covered their bases with that shit in the early days of the series.
Okay. So maybe they'll explain this, maybe they won't. They might clarify. I think some people were saying it was like, one was like a thermobaric bomb, one was saying nuclear bomb.
It was thermo. So it was originally assumed it was a nuke, although admittedly the games never said, or if they did say it got retconned. But yeah, they retconned it to be a thermobaric bomb. Again, okay, fair enough. So it wasn't a nuke. Even so, you're telling me that we're just now figuring out that Raccoon still got it's too convenient.
Exactly. And all of a sudden we're hearing like Neo Umbrella. We're hearing, you know, Chris is kind of following in Wesker's footsteps. And now we see Raccoon City is still standing. Like,
it just feels like they don't have any original ideas for the next game, so they're just gonna fall back on something where it's just like, maybe potentially could still be around. It's like, logically, if you did it the right way, no, it shouldn't be. So it does kind of seem.
And you know what? They could surprise us. They could be like,
maybe this is just a dream.
Well, it could also be a simulation. Remember, it's like, if this is how far in the future with all the technology that Resident Evil has, this could all just literally be a simulation.
I'm gonna be honest, it's a pretty poor simulation for a city that got bombed.
Well, fair, but if it's a simulation, they can make it how they want.
I don't know why I would simulate a bombed city. I'm just gonna be real with you.
To make it seem real.
Fair enough, I guess.
Because if the point of a simulation is to make you believe it's real, they need to have something believable. So they kind of replicate events that have happened, but make it less impactful. Like this, case in point. If it was supposed, the entire city was supposed to be gone, if they want to make it impactful but still have it be there as a thing, they could have rebuilt half the city in the simulation, and that's why it exists. But that also depends if that's how they do it, which maybe they will, maybe they won't.
All right, well, let's keep going. I've got additional thoughts, but there's a little bit more left. Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah, fair
Let's
enough.
go.
Investigating all these strange deaths, huh?
We need to keep our voices down.
Have you seen the same shit I've seen?
Please.
Now, obviously, here's the police station.
Are my hope.
Everyone's gone.
This is
RPD.
nostalgia bait. This is 100% nostalgia bait.
100% nostalgia bait. Yeah. Like, you just gave us the Resident Evil 2 remake, which is fine. It's not bad. It's fine. It's the best of the three. You gave us Resident Evil 3 remake, and it sucked. Everyone hated it. Like, fucking universally, everyone hated it. Resident Evil 4 literally has nothing to do with Raccoon City, so it is what it is. You get
Like, you're gonna like that one, you're not gonna like it. It depends on the crowd.
Is RPD being in fucking Dead by Daylight not enough for you people? You need even more member berries?
I just hope that it's here for a reason and not just nostalgia bait.
Mm-hmm.
If it's here for just nostalgia bait, that sucks. If it's here for
I mean, I'm sure the reason is, oh, well, Alyssa Ashcroft was in Raccoon City and she left clues. And now we've got to go back to where she was to find those clues. Bitch, what the odds them clues going to be there in this city that was fucking blowing the fuck up? Like,
unless they came after the fact it was
30
blown up.
years later.
Yeah, no. Absolutely.
No, yeah, 30 years later.
The only way
this is gonna
anything
have to
new
be a
is
really
there
good
is if
story.
it's fresh. So.
Stay away from that!
I mean, definitely trying to make it scary. I remember when I played Village, and I was just like, 'cause that was my first one, and I was like, yeah, it was pretty scary.
Oh, dude. Don't go back
And I
and
know
play
that
the
Village
older
isn't
one.
that
Like,
good, but
yeah, Village was, like, Resident Evil ain't really been scary since 4 has some moments, for people who are new to the series and whatnot. I'll say that 4 is still a horror game. 5 and 6 were not scary at all. So with 7, like, all right, let's get back to being scary again. And 7, they did a great job with it. And then 8 was like, yo, what happened? You took out all the fucking scares. You did such a good job with 7.
I will totally admit, I think someone in chat a long time ago gifted Akko Ari's 5. And I bought it in the intention of, hey, it's a co-op game. Let's utilize the co-op bit and let's do that. Let's play it together.
Me and Cinnamere, I know Akko knows Cinny. I don't know if you do or not.
No, I do.
Me and Cinny have streamed Resident Evil 5 together on her channel many times. Like I think we've beaten it on her channel together twice over the course of like 5-6 streams. It's not scary at all. Resident Evil 5 is not. Resident Evil 5 does a great job of telling a Resident Evil story that wraps up with the like. You could technically have ended Resident Evil after 5. It ends the story that they started with Resident Evil 1. But it's just not a horror game. It's pretty much just an action game at that point. But like it's a great Resident Evil story, but a terrible Resident Evil game in practice in terms of being horror. But yeah, if you don't do horror stuff, either of you, play Resident Evil 5. It's not scary at all.
oh, I'm fine with horror. It's just like once the initial moment passes, I get used to it, and it's just like, okay, this ain't scary anymore.
I'm gonna give you an idea of how awful I am with horror. I bought Ari or Resident Evil 2 remake. I made it into the gas station and I saw there was a zombie. I knew he was gonna jump up. I knew everything was gonna happen. He did it. I still jumped, turned off the game, and refunded it. Like I knew it was gonna happen, and it still got me. That's how bad I am.
That's some bitch. Horror is my favorite genre of video games. Horrors and technical fighters. I'm like, oh damn, that's some bitch made shit. Like horror is my fucking thing.
So yeah, that's the RE9 trailer. I mean, I understand why people are excited. I'm definitely more excited now. I know one theory people have had that is interesting, and I think that might be part of the reason why they brought Raccoon City back. Is kind of mixing the idea of like, what about like the monsters, like Mr. X, Nemesis, whatever, mixing that abomination with potential radiation from whatever bomb was dropped and creating another really awful like monster like that.
Like going full Godzilla with it, and like there were some interesting monsters like that thing that was crawling on the wall and the surging shadows or whatnot, and like again, I'm interested from a horror perspective of how this game's gonna be. I don't want horror at the expense of 30 years of lore.
No, yeah, absolutely.
No, I can agree
Because
with that. Yeah.
Resident Evil is a very lore-heavy franchise. If you follow it, it's like deep. So if they, butcher it
I
for the
could do a
sake of
dissertation on it. I could right now. I could go to college and be the very first doctor of Resident Evil. And I've such the way people get autistically obsessed with certain subjects. Like I can understand because that's the way I am with Resident Evil. I could it is my favorite video game franchise of all time. And I mean I could make probably an entire Resident Evil exclusive channel, but I'm worried. I've been worried ever since 7. I like 7, but 7 was a bit of a departure. And then 8, I feel like didn't do it justice for the change of direction. 9 now seems directionless, and I'm
Yep. Now they
I'm
have
nervous.
said, I think this is just leaks and not directly Capcom, maybe. Basically saying that 9 is going to be a bit more of a gameplay departure from even 8. But we don't know if that's like third person, first person.
What's that supposed to mean?
That's the thing, is like, where are you taking that? And even some
Okay.
people, some leaks have said they're going the open world route like Monster Hunter with this, which is like, why? That makes no sense.
open world horror. I don't think works. Like
No.
the Evil Within 2. I love the Evil Within 2 as a story. But it's not as scary as Evil Within 1 because when you're open world, there's no claustrophobia. You're not confined. You're not stuck in certain situations. Like it takes away an element of horror. I'm not saying they don't exist, but I've never played a good open world horror game.
No, absolutely.
That succeeds at being scary. It might be a fun game, but I've never seen one succeed at actually being scary.
Exactly. No, I completely agree. Which is like, I don't like semi-open world. Like you have open zones, kind of. Maybe I'm gonna use Frontiers as an example. You could have like massive giant corridor kind of thing with the horror of Resident Evil and make it work fine as long as it is like grounded within what makes it a horror game. So I don't know.
That's it. I won't see any more time on Resident Evil. Those are the games we can talk about.
No.
My bad.
You're good. You're good.
Let's see. What else is there? Obviously, there's quite a bit.
But I think because of the time of night, we can be a little more selective of what we're interested in.
Absolutely. I'm gonna bring up Final Fantasy Tactics then. In fact, let me just do it this way.
I think that one will
Style
be interesting.
Mile says, "Nah, the guest smoking tobacco. Yes, I am. But I'm also drinking, so I'm a little bit tipsy. Not inhaling. Cheers, to everyone. Remember, yes, the drug deal is only for weed. I will also say I do not condone this. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Acid and mushrooms are fine too. Psychedelics will always be great.
Always in moderation, chat.
Exactly.
Always in moderation. Agreed.
So, people have been thinking, like, because we're hearing leaks that Kingdom Hearts 4 already has English voice acting going, so maybe we'll be getting a trailer soon. So when people saw the Square Enix thing pop up at State of Play, it was like, okay, Kingdom Hearts. No one was expecting Tactics. Especially since we've been...
There was a leak that it was going to be Tactics that I cover on my show like 3 or 4 days beforehand, and I thought it was bullshit. Even on my stream, I was like, there's no way it's going to be Tactics. Y'all are full of shit. You're making stuff up. I was pleasantly surprised. This is my favorite Final Fantasy game.
I saw was the NVIDIA leak years ago. And like that was how, especially since
there was one that was on Game Rant, like it was the day. Okay, it was the day of the State of Play, and they're like, "Oh, what you might see at State of Play," and it was Final Fantasy Tactics remake, and I was like, "Bullshit!" And then it didn't happen, but then it came later that week at Summer Games Fest.
Yeah. No, this was State of Play.
Oh, was the State of Play? Okay,
this was State of Play.
Bad. Okay, it actually was the State of Play then. Okay.
Yeah. So, Pirate Nation brought up a post.
Oh wow, both versions. That's good.
Both versions. Now they do make it clear it is with the War of the Lions translation and not the original PS1 version. Admittedly, I think people do find the War of the Lions to be better, as far as like I don't know, but both versions are there, and I do appreciate this.
I don't know what the War of the Lions translation is because I've only played the PS1 version.
Yeah, I have the PS1. I haven't played it, but I have it.
Oh, you're missing out. It's amazing. Again, Tactics is the best Final Fantasy game, bar none.
the reason why is my PS2 will only go on my TV, and my TV is where my bed is. And when I lay in bed, I want to play a game, but my body's like, no. So I haven't.
Fair enough. I understand that.
So this would be the first time I'd truly be playing it. The last time I think Square did this was actually Dragon Quest XI, where they had the 3D version and then they had the classic style version.
Yep.
So I do like this. Pirate Nation did bring up where they said they're making story adjustments, but we don't know what that is. Like
I defended that. I know a lot of people jump to, oh, you mean it's gonna be woke? And I was like, well, no. I mean, let's be real. This game was on the PS1. There's translation errors. Some stuff doesn't quite make sense. Like, story adjustments could mean anything. Well, and there are, as much as I love Final Fantasy Tactics, there are aspects of the story that probably could use some adjustment just for simplicity's sake, or for not simplicity, but coherency's sake. I'm not willing to jump the gun on this one yet.
I even gave because it's being done by Yoshi P's team. I've made a theory of we have a Final Fantasy VII crossover thing. It's been there since the PS1 version, and they're updating that with the voice actors from the remake and Rebirth for Cloud and Aerith. What if we get another crossover? We get one for Final Fantasy 14. We get one for 16. That technically would count as adjustments to the story.
Green.
So.
Yeah, I'm not worried about any adjustments or anything. Now, let's say the enhanced version does do some fuck shit in terms of wokeness or whatever. Is that gonna be annoying? Sure, but as long as none of that stuff's in the classic version or whatever, I will still find it to be more. I don't want this stuff at all, but I'll at least find it to be forgivable, and that at least you're giving us the option to play the original non-infected version.
The worst I expect is the Type A and Type B genders, which is dumb, but that's what I expect them to do.
Well, I don't think that'd be because you don't choose male or female in this game.
No? Oh, okay.
No, you gotta, at least I don't, if you do, it's been years since I played Final Fantasy Tactics, but I don't know, I'm pretty sure it's a hard character. Like, you name your character and everything, but beyond that, it's it's always a male. Now, maybe they'll add male, female, I don't know, maybe that could be a thing, but no, you're a male.
I mean, Tactics and 14, no, Tactics and 12 are the same world. So, Tactics is a prequel to 12, I believe.
Yeah.
Now there is a version of 12 in 14, but that version of 14 or 12 and 14 is not canon to 12.
Wait, is that where Evilus comes from? Tactics?
Yes.
So the second raid set is from Okay.
Yeah. I just looked up to make sure that I wasn't speaking on my ass. I didn't remember. Yeah, no, you're a male in Final Fantasy Tactics. Now again, will they change that for the remake and give you a choice? I don't know, but no, maybe. you are only in the original Tactics.
No, yeah. Okay.
So body type AB shit.
Yeah.
I think that's the worst to expect because, and did I grab the post from Grumps? Hold on, let me see if I did. I believe I did. Yeah, here. Let me bring this up.
It's finally 83 degrees in my apartment. I'm so happy.
Oh my god, that's fantastic.
It was like 94 when I got in today.
So
I was going to say, that sounds unbearable, but you're trying to get lower. Okay.
Yeah.
So Grums made this post responding to Scatter V, saying, "Take it best that Square Enix will remove gender from recruiting characters." Grums responded saying, "If they do that, I will definitely talk about it, as well as the changes they hinted about the story. I can always replay the original. I don't have to give them money." This comment is what caught my eye. From Strife Style RPG, "I'm still looking for this distrust of Square. Authenticity over politics. Racial identity, current American ideological politics over authenticity equals woke. That has always been the gist. Square always chooses authenticity over politics, and no one has given me any examples of otherwise. I know Western branch is taken over by activists, but their main branch doesn't even care. It's the activists that tell them what the West want, and they still choose authenticity. All I'm saying is we can support the devs while complaining about the Western department, or someone can tell me what the source of this much distrust and hate is." And I agree.
I can tell you right now what it is that there's two things. One, Square Enix, whether it be the Western branch or otherwise, it's still having hired Sweet Baby Inc.
Yep.
It's unabashedly true. Square, now, did they use it on Final Fantasy? Actually, that's never been proven. Odds are they actually used it on Forspoken.
It was Forspoken, I'm pretty sure.
So it was Forspoken, I'm sure is guaranteed. It's whether or not they've used them for any other projects, Final Fantasy remake, things like 7 remake, things like that. So, but Square Enix has, in fact, hired Studio Inc. The other thing, Square Enix has been funded by BlackRock and does have ESG departments, even in its Eastern branch.
Yes, they do.
I've shown on videos before, go to the actual Square Enix of Japan website and go into their About Us section, and they have entire, even in the Japanese, sections on their commitment to ESG.
Yep.
So, yes, Square Enix, Capcom, SEGA, Bandai Namco, the list goes on, have gotten investment from BlackRock, which is the company that goes in to make shit woke. So, again, I'm willing to give benefit of the doubt in a lot of instances, so I get what STG is going for here, but when he says no one's been able to point it out, either people aren't as good at this as I am, or the more likely scenario, he's willfully ignorant.
Well,
because I'm sure there's a lot more people than me who have pointed this out.
No, absolutely. And I actually recently played Rebirth for the first time because it came out into PC back in January. And when people were talking about the Gold Saucer specifically, when Rebirth came out, saying, oh, you'll commonly see two guys together. That doesn't mean they're gay. That just means it's two guys together. Give me evident proof that these characters are actually being gay with each other.
Also, gay shit doesn't inherently mean woke. Anime got gay shit in it all the fucking time and has for as long as it's now. Are you putting gay shit in there to send a message, or just because you like homo shit? Like to me, and that's what this guy's trying to say, and I agree with that on the surface. It's the under the surface stuff where he's like, "Oh, show me XYZ." Well, okay. Look at the Sweet Baby Inc. website where they listed Square Enix as clients. Look at the Japanese website where they say they are full of where they invest in ESG. Look at the BlackRock investment pages where it shows they invested in Square Enix. That should be enough for you. You can't say it's authenticity. Once you've got investment from BlackRock, that's no longer authentic. You're not authentically creating shit. You're taking investment firms from a politically aligned company.
I think
100%.
the only time I think Square has actively made anything that could be considered woke in like the main story aspect, which is where people really kind of have a problem with this stuff, is 16 with the guy who is Bahamut. Like, he is actively gay, but
and guess what? I defend Square Enix on that because they stood on business. Why? Fucking unlike Insomniac Spider-Man, where the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, and all of them were like, "Yo, get this homo shit out of the game, or you can't release it here." And Insomniac was like, "Yes, a master. Yes, a master. No blue cheese on the salad." And they fucking took out all the gay shit and they gave a Saudi Arabian version. When Saudi Arabia told Square Enix, "Take your gay shit out of here. You can't have the game," Square Enix said, "Go fuck yourselves." So you know what? At least you're standing up for what you believe in more than capitulating to where gay shit's not okay.
Well,
you know what? I got respect for that at least.
And that's the thing too, is 16, it's gay character. There's like what, one, maybe two scenes in the entire game where he's being gay with his lover. The other time, he's being a absolute badass. I mean, you can't be the host of Bahamut and a Dragoon and not be a total badass.
I mean, you can. It's just people will be upset if you're not.
Fair point. But when it comes to the main story of this stuff, Square has not given me besides maybe Dawn Trail, but I think that's more activist garbage and less ESG for the sake of it, where they've done something to absolutely destroy the story to push that agenda. So,
what were you gonna say, Mama? Because he and I went on a tangent there for a bit. You kept trying to jump in.
No, you're good. I'm gonna be honest, I forgot, but it's okay.
So
it's totally all right. But anyway, I do think that Tactics looks really good. I guess we'll just have to wait and see really what it's gonna look like when it comes out. But as of right now, I don't think that I'm not too worried about it. It basically is what I'm trying to say. Granted, because it's one of those like turnstile RPG games, I'm not quite sure if I would enjoy it just because I'm not into our turnstile RPG games as much as everybody else.
No, yeah. I think Square is also saving face here quite a lot because the price of it, if you just wanted to buy the base version, it's $50.
Really?
Yeah, it's 50. So that is another remake or remaster that is not the typical 60 or 70. And not only is this a remake, it is also a soft remaster because they're including the original game on top of it. So this is very unprecedented, and I think maybe this might have been influenced by Oblivion.
Nah, this is in
pricing?
development way before.
Well-
I don't know about before.
Well, no,
but
I mean
like,
the pricing.
Oh, pricing wise, you might be onto something. Yeah, fair enough. My bad.
Not like the gameplay, but like the pricing.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I misunderstood.
Because like Oblivion
good.
was like, for all intents and purposes, it should have been 60 or 70, but it was 50.
Right.
So, I don't know. I mean, there's definitely potential here. I need to see more proof of what these story adjustments are before screaming to the streets, it's woke. Because it's probably, in the grand scheme of things, not.
I don't think it will be. I mean, if I'm wrong, but I don't think I will be.
Mm-hmm. Now, they did actually post the actors list. Ben Starr is playing one of the main characters in this.
Of course.
They have the actor for Urian J from Final Fantasy XIV as another character. The actor for Noah from Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is playing a main character in this.
Okay.
So this Tactics remaster or remake is a full-on British cast again. So there's definitely a continued trend here of British actors, probably because they're not SAG.
Yeah, I would agree with you there.
The only two actors in this that are not SAG or not British are the actors for Cloud and Aerith, because they're American.
That's their remake actors.
Yeah,
correct?
remake
Coming
and
back?
rebirth. So it's probably in a contract, because they probably signed a whole contract for the trilogy, and then the actor for Cloud probably signed a further contract for probably this and Kingdom Hearts 4.
It bothers me that we're getting a Kingdom Hearts 4, but that's neither here nor there.
There's too many Kingdom Hearts games in my personal opinion. I thought,
I
you know, when
couldn't
I
agree more.
first got into it, I was just like, oh, there's like 2 or 3 games, and they're like, no. And I'm
No.
I got into Kingdom Hearts 2, and I've regretted it ever since.
I got into Kingdom Hearts with technically the hearing the announcement of 3, and I've played most of them now.
I jumped in at 1, and then I got halfway through 2. Now, granted, I played 1 on proud mode because I was told that I had to play it on proud mode because that's the way that winners play. And I was like, okay, I'll play it on proud mode. And then I played proud mode on 2, and I stopped playing just because I got bored.
Man, so I got Kingdom Hearts 2 for my birthday one year. The year it came out, I don't remember what year it was. But like the if you guys remember, the PS2 case is like silver, and the Roman numeral for 2 is blended in. So my dad thought it was the first game, so he didn't know he was getting me the second. So I started with the second. I really liked it. I beat it. I loved Kingdom Hearts 2. I went back to try and play 1. It's so slow in comparison. I wasn't a fan. I played a bunch of the games afterwards, and I didn't jive with them like I did 2. Kingdom Hearts 3 finally came out after we waited 13 fucking years for it, and it was the biggest letdown of probably any game I've literally ever played in my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah.
Like, it did not live up to the 13-year wait. It was so so bad.
And
I've been told the gameplay is good, but the story is meh.
I've made the theory with a whole bunch of other people who played the Kingdom Hearts series, like I have, and this I feel like 3 is a case of Disney touched where the sun don't shine a little too much, because 3
No, I
really
disagree. I think it was all Square Enix.
well,
Tetsuya Nomura like literally said himself that he got pissed off at the development, so he did like the reason that he didn't bring back Final Fantasy characters is because he got pissed off at Square Enix, some internal people at Square Enix, and Disney. Like, there's only 8 Disney worlds, which is the least we've ever seen in a mainline Kingdom Hearts game. There should have been so much more. That's why so many of us play these games, is for the Disney crossover. Like, I'm the first one to hate on Disney. I'm a mad Disney hater. But aside from the way they fucked up the Frozen level, I don't think they had much of a hand in anything else in terms of the bad stuff with it.
Mm-hmm.
See, the only reason I'm not sure how much I know about that, but the fact that we had basically no Final Fantasy characters in 3, and then we had some of them in the DLC after Nomura acknowledged that Kingdom Hearts needed Final Fantasy characters, and he already stated 4 will have a much heavier emphasis on Final Fantasy than 3 did.
Yeah, well, yeah, but it wasn't Disney that said no Final Fantasy characters. It was because Nomura was infighting with several of the other team members at Square Enix, and so as a fuck you to them, he pulled them out.
Fair.
Like, Nomura can say whatever he wants now that the game's been out for years, but when it released, he said he pulled the Kingdom Hearts or the Final Fantasy characters as a fuck you to Square Enix.
Fair.
Really? That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I kind of get it because Square at that time was definitely in a kerfuffle with its upper management. Like I think they were bouncing between CEOs for like a while, like rapidly.
I mean, a lot of they have been, and I feel like just only now they've been slowly.
I kind of
recovering,
like the new
maybe.
CEO. He is very much a giant nerd and wants to make nerd games and not just activist shit. In fact, last year, because Final Fantasy does Final Fantasy or the Fan Fest for 14. And the new CEO, he had been the CEO for like a month, maybe 2 months. And he came up on stage and he's just basically saying like to Yoshi P, it's like, I have to approve stuff, obviously. But when it comes to this game, you don't tell me. I trust you to do your job. Don't tell me I want to play this as a fan of this game, not just to be a higher up. I play this
remember
game
that, yeah.
for fun. So the fact that he is just as much of a nerd as the rest of us and wants to play these games means he also probably wants the same kind of quality stuff we want as well. So
Yo, Jazz is in the chat. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. What up, Jazz? I see you,
Good.
brother.
Good friend of the show, Jazz.
Welcome,
Hope
Yeah,
you're doing good.
Jazz is actually my guest for a Countercast tomorrow.
fun.
I think he told me something about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I love. I've only met him once. We streamed together once, but he was a fucking sweetheart. I adore the man. Anyway,
Yeah.
nice to see you, Jazz.
As for Jazz's comments though, Cloud's backing 4. So there was a leak, I think last week about 4, where Cody Christian, the actor for Cloud, basically said he was, going back in the studio voicing Cloud, which felt really weird since we're probably not getting the 3rd remake game until 2027. So why is he recording them now in 2025? That doesn't make sense. People didn't jump on the train of saying, oh, this is probably for Kingdom Hearts 4, because we got another leak that they're already starting English acting for 4. I'm not so sure much about that rumor anymore because we know Cloud is in Tactics, and they've already said he is voicing Cloud in Tactics.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what that probably was for, and not for Kingdom Hearts. But Square has also been on they've had a hard-on for 7 for a while now. So I would not be surprised if Cloud was in 4, or because of their major need for 7.
I guess we'll see.
So this was the other biggest announcement besides the Persona 4 remake reveal.
And this is the ROG Ally, Xbox Ally.
Yes. This one's very important.
Persona 4 reveal? When was that?
That was today during the Xbox showcase.
God damn it! I missed the Persona 4 remake reveal.
Well-
It'd been rumored for a while, to be fair, because of Yuri Lowenthal's statement on X last week.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah,
So-
like when he mentioned that, it was just like, no, it's definitely coming out.
Yeah.
yeah,
I expected that during Summer Game Fest, not during Xbox, but Atlas does have a fairly good relationship with Microsoft. So that makes sense. But we'll watch that one after this one so you can see it as well. But this announcement wasn't as big as the Ally X. Like, that was nice. The Ally X was interesting, but there was one more thing in here that I think caught people's eye a little bit more than a gaming handheld. And I'll point it out when we see it.
This is really weird feeling, I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, it is. It's like this is a case. I knew this was a gaming handheld, but it's a weird trailer.
It makes me feel weird, I'm not going to lie.
and the old PS3 trailers.
Yeah, I remember those. Those ones made you feel weird too.
Yeah, they did. I'll be real. I give so little fucks about Xbox. Them putting out a gaming, I was like, I couldn't care less about a gaming handheld from Xbox.
So this was it. This was the what was in this trailer. That Silk Song was the primary game in this trailer. And there was a bit in there, like they were talking about it, bit where they said what is shown during this presentation will be out by Q4 2025.
It's still not a date, man. You know it.
Well, I hate to break it to you,
What that means, Akko, is holiday season, so everyone can buy it for their kids.
I hate
I know. What I'm saying is that it's still copium that we're gonna see Silk Song.
Did I
Until I actually see a date, I'm gonna
did.
say this Silk Song is never coming out.
So I'm gonna counter that. We actually got something today on top of this.
Okay.
This is from. Oh, is it not showing? Why are you not
Sifting
showing?
through a lot here, man.
There. So this is from a developer from Team Cherry today in their Discord saying Leth is confirmed Silk Song is releasing before this holiday in Discord. And he
Okay,
posted,
but like, which holiday? Could it be next decade's holiday?
holiday time is what Microsoft said. That means Q4 because you have Halloween, you have Thanksgiving, you have Christmas, and you have New Year's. Q4 is holiday season.
I know. I'm just pulling on your rug because it's just like everybody's like, "Oh, Silk Song could get announced," and it's just like
we know it's coming. Nintendo confirmed it's coming.
I know it's coming, but it's just like
what I'm saying here. Though,
I will
is
joke forever until it is in my hands that it's not coming out.
This says likely Q3. My guess is September.
Potentially. Why is there a pregnant man emote in there?
Don't worry about it. Discord's weird. Ignore Discord.
Is that like a default emote in Discord?
I think it is, yes.
Goddamn Discord.
I know. And actually,
no, like.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that this is one of those times where like I'm glad I never got into Hollow Knight because I know what it was like to have the 13-year wait for Kingdom Hearts fucking 3. So I know there's been a very similar mentality for like Silk Song. People have been wanting it for like what, like 7-8 years now, whatever, however long it's been. So I hope you guys get what you're looking for. By the same token, this will benefit me. Is okay.
I played Hollow Knight for the first time proper, like I think last year, and oh my god, I'm glad I did, and it got me more excited for Silk Song.
It's a good game. Fighting the final boss is still very fun.
I actually thought about it today, and I made this post on Twitter, saying it's wild to consider we're almost back to the state of the only remaining Copium game release is Bloodborne on PC. GTA 6 has a release date. It's coming in 2026. Silk Song has at most a Q4 2025 release. We know Half-Life 3 is in development from the various leaks from Valve's own games. All that's left is Bloodborne.
Sorry, Half-Life 3 is not. I'm still holding out for that. That ain't ever gonna be a fucking thing.
So, based on the leaks that we've seen, it's actually about 90% done.
Yeah, it was about 90% done in 2007.
Fair. Also fair. So let me see. The Persona 4 Revival.
I just got a message from Magma saying that Amalgamate got permanently suspended on Twitch.
What did she do? What did Amal do? God damn it, Amal.
You're asking what Amalgamate did? She literally sung the new Kanye song.
Oh, no, that would do it. That would do it.
I don't think that's what did it, but like that's one of the things that she did.
Well, that's base.
She had a white woman moment. It's fine. So, the Persona 4 announcement was only 42 seconds long, and at first I didn't think that's what this was because this looks, fine.
This does not look like Persona.
And then this.
Yeah, well, no, it does. But it looks like it could be anything Japanese.
Yeah, and then they showed the TVs, and that was what confirmed it to me, what this was.
There it is. Oh, that looks good.
That is all the gameplay that we are shown. That is it. But
isn't it available now?
No, God, no. No. We don't even have a release date. If I had to guess, right about this time, for 2023, I believe, is when we saw the Persona 3 Reload announcement. So I'm going to take a shot in the dark and say this is March.
Okay. Yeah, this is something that we knew was going to happen. The only issue is what are they changing?
Yeah. Well, okay. I will admit, Atlas has a bit of a Square Enix thing as well, where if they have weird stuff that we don't like, that's more modern audience oriented, it's usually a background character, like a side thing you might just notice. But
Mhm.
main story stuff, they don't usually tweak it. Outside of the actual narrative, maybe they'll tweak a voice line. Maybe they'll tweak like, what's the right word?
The
for it?
localization will probably absolutely be borked in this.
Yeah.
Let's be real. There's gonna be some fucky localization.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I'm thinking it's like Atlas proper, probably going to leave it alone. Atlas localization, on the other hand,
It's a different story.
different story. Yeah. Obviously, they're probably not going to change much, except for the ones that everyone's talking about, Naoto and Kanji.
Now I wonder.
Naoto and fucking Kanji. Yay.
You know, I'm looking at Atlas West X account right now, and they don't got the flag it colors
Really?
That's good.
for Pride Month. No flag, no rainbows in the no rainbows in the profile picture. Nothing in the bio.
So here's the problem, Chad. This is why Persona 4 has been a hot topic for a remake. Is if they change the actual stories behind Kanji and Naoto, that will literally be the death of Atlas. Or at least they will have to go under for hide for a while.
Nothing on their Japanese page either, which is less,
Yeah, that's not surprising. It's the Western one that's more surprising. So,
Oh,
if
no, wait, I see it. I see it. It's right here in front of our faces, looking between the R on P4R.
Oh,
Rainbows.
Here? Well, that's the...
I know, I'm joking.
But yeah, I don't know. Changing Kanji and Naoto would detrimentally ruin the story. And Atlas probably knows that. So they're in a bit of a tight spot. Do they appease the activists? Or they keep the story the exact same?
Wait, what do you mean? Kanji's already gay, isn't he?
No.
No, he's just fruity.
So Kanji is into feminine activities like sewing or knitting.
Yeah, I maybe I just always assumed Kanji was gay.
No, so that's how his dungeon lists him out, because if he does feminine womanly things, maybe he's a bit more gay because of that. But they actually clarified that he's not. He's just into these more feminine activities.
Okay.
So, could they turn him gay? Sure, but that literally would ruin his story because he's not.
Yeah.
The Naoto's the
Knitting's
bitter...
not gay.
Exactly. But Naoto's the bit of the hotter topic, because her whole point is she wants, like, the dungeon was she's going to
Actually, Wolfsbane.
Have a good
Oh,
night,
yeah.
Wolfsbane.
Have a good night, Wolfsbane.
I mean, we're gonna end probably in the next 30 minutes or so anyway, just because it's getting late.
Yeah.
And I go.
I know. I'm sorry. We've rambled.
No, it's good. That's fantastic. I hope you guys have enjoyed each other's company. So.
Absolutely. But the Naoto story being the whole, like, she wants to turn herself into a male because men are more accepted in the Japanese society, which 4 took place during 2012, which was a definitely hot topic thing then, and still kind of is now. So being a woman in a male-dominated space.
The 19th.
Yeah. So Naoto, being how she is, like, she's not going to be respected for being a woman. But the fact that her story is literally you have to be you. You're not going to be good at this job unless you're you. You're not going to be the best version of you unless you're you. And that's what her story is about. So if they just double down and make Kanji gay, that ruins his story. They double down and make Naoto trans, that ruins her story. It literally removes the meaning behind their stories.
I wonder, because Atlas is owned by SEGA. I wonder if we
Yes.
should check SEGA's page. Oh, SEGA does have the flag it colors.
Yeah, Sega's just kind of been like that for a while, even though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and that's what makes it hard being a Sonic fan. But I will probably still keep buying Sonic games. And I'll probably end up buying Revival when it comes out day one.
I mean, I didn't buy P3 day one, mainly because of at the time it came out, I wasn't near as financially secure as I am now. Though I probably would have otherwise. So,
no, yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I bought Reload because Persona 3 is my favorite of the modern Persona games. Because 3's story is fantastic. I would actually say 4 is my least favorite of the 3.
Between 3, 4, and 5, 4 is probably my least favorite as well, but they're all good.
Mm-hmm. Like, none of them are bad.
3 was probably my favorite until Persona 5 Royal came out. Like, I liked base 3 better than base 5, but I think 5 Royal is the best.
I'm gonna... That's what was hard for me. I liked 3 more because 4 is a bit more oddly grounded, and it kind of hits harder. But at the same time, 5 also hits the same notes just as well. So it's like, you could flip-flop them, and they could be just as good as each other. 4 is great, but 4 is also, like, it has its moments of, like, this doesn't feel, like, realistic in a way. Because at least 3 and 4 had the moments of, this could actually be real.
Yeah, I guess, 5 doesn't really... I don't know. I don't necessarily want that sort of thing out of... I was going to say Persona, but most JRPGs anyway. I looked at JRPGs and most Japanese games as a sort of like wild sort of impossibility, like truly pure escapism.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that 5 did that I guess that didn't do, base 5 didn't do that. I know 4 did. I don't know if 3 did or not, but I think 3 did it. You can hang out with your friends and companions and teammates in group settings.
Yep, I think 3 did
5,
that too.
5 was only one-on-one. And, like, so you don't get the same sort of team dynamic. But then 5 Royal came out, and they added the darts, like, the group hangout spots, and, like, it very much reinforced, like, oh, you're a cohesive team now, things like that, out in the real world. As opposed to everything just being one-on-one. Because, like, you could hang out with Yusuke solo, or Ryuji solo, or whatever, but you never see Ryuji and Yusuke hanging out together, or An and Makoto. And so being able to get everyone together in 5 is like, finally... Yes, and that pushed over the edge for 3 for me.
No, absolutely.
4 is the only one where, if I recall, the only one that doesn't punish you for being a cheating piece of shit.
No, 5 definitely.
You fuck all the bitches.
So in the same vein, the devs actually responded to the Persona 4 reveal. I'm gonna bring this up. And said, "Hello, this is Wada from P Studio. We are very pleased to announce the release of Persona 4 Revival. We look forward to sharing even more information in due time. Persona 4 has spawned numerous spin-off works, including the TV anime, Arena Ultimax, and Dancing All Night, and is a special title that has been a part of ATLUS for many years and holds a special place in my heart. We are currently working on this project with all of our passion and love. We are confident this will be a fresh and surprising product for both newcomers and longtime fans, and we look forward to sharing it with you all. Additionally, we are actively preparing for the future development of the Persona series as a studio. So, flat out confirming here, once Revival is done, it is all hands on deck for 6.
I'm gonna be real. I actually assumed 6 had been in the works for a while now. The fact that I mean, maybe it's been in pre-production with a skeleton crew up to this point, but I don't know.
I have a
I'm
feeling
a
it's
bit
much
bummed with
farther.
this announcement because it means that 6 isn't as far along as I'd fucking hoped it was.
Well, that's what we assume about Kingdom Hearts 4, and apparently 4 is much farther along. I have a feeling these remakes are being done by a B team, and that it is the majority of the other team on 6, because they can use a lot of the assets from 5 and now 3 for this.
That's an interesting theory. I like that.
And once this is done, then they can move their B team to either another spinoff or 5 or 6. So
good enough for me. That's a lot more optimistic, so I'll take that.
I mean, I don't think we'll see it till like 2027, maybe 28, if we're lucky. But I don't know. We'll see. But
We will see, and for sure.
But there is definitely some confidence here that the director is definitely sure that this will please both classic fans and new fans. So hopefully, knock on wood, that means they understand our complaints and our concerns.
I'm there for it. I'll be getting P4R.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
will
Yeah.
I. All right.
I think, unless you've got one more big trailer, that we should start wrapping up because we do have super chats to get through as
No,
well.
You're good. We can do super chats.
Alrighty. Like I said, Chad, again, thank you for being here tonight. It has been amazing. I'm going to read the super chats from the last stream that I did not get a chance to read, and then we'll go through the ones that we've had here. Again, I do apologize about the stream dying. For those that don't know, my ISP occasionally does work during the night. They don't tell you that you're going to do work now during the night. However, to be fair, I'm probably the only guy in the middle of my city that needs the internet right at midnight when they are unplugging and plugging it back in. So I can get mad, but they do it at the time where literally I'm the only one that cares about it. So I can only get so upset. But I do appreciate everybody being here tonight. So let me finish off the ones from last stream. Wolfsbane for 2. All my MTG Final Fantasy I bought was from my LGS. Well, that is good. Yeah, don't support.
As long as it wasn't sealed, that's good. If it was sealed, then that's still fucking money in Watsy's pocket. But if it wasn't sealed, then good.
Yes, pretty much. Mercenary for 5. I sell my Magic cards from beta days. I stopped buying when the cards come out bent as sealed. Meadowbrook was the last time I got anything.
Ninja been playing since beta. Mad fucking props, dude.
Was that back when the cards still had white borders, or?
Yeah, beta is 94, 95, somewhere around there.
Oh man, that's a long time ago. I wish I could get my hands on some of those cards, but I know that those were more expensive.
I started playing in, I think, like 03, maybe.
Yeah. Man, that's. It feels really weird to say that the 90s are like 30 years ago now, or almost.
Almost 40 years. 35 years was 90. Was 95. It was 90.
Yeah. And I'm not. I feel old, and I'm not even that old. I'm still in my 20s, and that still makes me feel old.
No, I'm in my 31st birthday is next month.
Oh, nice. Let's see here. For Mercenary for 2, for Tango lost my trust went after side scrollers. Yeah, you don't go after side scrollers.
Yeah, for Tango fucking homo.
Yeah. He just seems like a guy that'll go after everybody if you're even remotely nice to Grums, which...
Fortenga has Grum's derangement syndrome. Fortenga's an OG anti-woker, like again, like me, like again, fucking OG 2014 Gamergate days, and then the anti-woke movement started getting popular, and he's all like, "Oh no, I can't be part of the." Basically, he's a contrarian. He needs to be on whatever the out group is.
I see. Let's see, Mercenary again for 2. I'll change my mind if the Switch 2 is pulled from the fire. I guess we'll see. It's
not on fire though. It's had a, what do you mean pulled from the fire? It's had a bonkers good release. Like, again, you might not like Nintendo or the things they're doing or whatnot, but it's objectively true that Switch is at a good release, so it's in a good spot.
Yeah, now, the public doesn't care.
It'll do a lot better when there's more games people care about. Not just because a lot of the games already on it are on PC already.
Yeah.
But most Nintendo players aren't like Nintendo is for kids and families and like people that aren't hardcore PC. Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, I don't care what the public perception is. I care what the hard numbers say. And right now, the hard numbers fucking fine.
Pretty much. I mean, it's just like my dad knows all of the issues with the Switch, but he still bought it with the family.
Yeah.
And it's just like they want to upgrade because they want to give my mom the old one, and they just want something new. And it's just like, yeah, it's time.
Like it again, we'll see a lot of sales numbers jump up when we seeing like a 3D Mario, new Zelda, maybe it's new like a Splatoon.
Yeah. Oh, they don't need to make another Splatoon, man. I'm serious. Like after the third one, like I played the third one, and it's just like it was all right, but like they could have stopped after the second one, and it would have been just fine in my personal opinion.
Never been a big Splatoon guy personally, but I like shooting games 9 times out of 10.
That's fair. I'm not even really big into shooting games. I just like the story for Splatoon, and that was it. And I'm like on the outside of that because I just didn't really like the PvP. Let's see here. Mercenary or for 2, that is if Nintendo gets humbled, needs an Iwata. Okay, fair enough. Mercenary again for 5. Game Freak has a game on Steam. Also, if the game industry doesn't go away, it will be forced to transform because the financial system will take a huge hit. I still don't know if we're really in that.
We're not.
No, like we're in a
AAA
restructuring.
might be taking a hit, but that's it. Indie, AA, all that's killing it. And even AAA isn't taking as huge a hit as anti-woke people, myself included, want to think. Look, Assassin's Creed Shadows turned out to not be the flop we all thought it would be. Like, we might be upset with the quality of games, but a lot of this shit's still doing fine. Unfortunately, but it's still true.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, pretty much. I mean, like, it's enough that, like, they are going to make some changes, but, like, I don't think it's in the spot where everything's in the shitter. I think that the people that are saying it's in the shitter are, I don't know if misleading is the right word, but I feel like they're a little too doomered on it or something like
They're
that.
deluding themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, go hello, Bonnie. Bonnie is one of the people that works rigging on my new model, so they help this new model move around. Let's see. Mercenary again for 2. Ian Flynn should never write for Sonic. Well, we already read that one. And then Wolfsbane for 5. I think Game Freak got disillusioned with Pokemon during Gen 6 as they had to cut like 60% of the game, especially after the magnum opus was Black and White 2. I'm not a Pokemon person, so you guys would have to give comment on that.
Black and White 2 is not the magnum opus. Like, not even fucking close, but...
Fair enough.
I haven't
And
played
then
it,
the
so I don't know.
last... Yeah. Okay, fair enough. And then the last one from the last stream, Mercenary for 2, Ian should keeps trying to put his politics in Sonic. Does he really? Ian Flynn? Does he really?
I haven't
don't think
seen
he
that.
does.
He puts his politics all over his Twitter and his
his
Sonic
podcast.
podcast.
Yeah.
Like his podcast is stupidly political at times, but in terms of the actual canon, story, comics, characters, the whole line, I don't see that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of that's Sega. Sega's very protective of Sonic.
Fair they should be. I'm glad they are. All right, onto this stream. Mercenary for 5. Gosh, I miss the days video game companies trash talked each other.
You and me both.
They don't.
Yeah.
They don't
Although
really do
we
it anymore.
saw that at SGF on Friday when homeboy behind Splitgate came out and started talking ridiculous shit on Halo and Call of Duty during his Splitgate 2 presentation.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
He came out, he's
that's
like,
fair.
we made Splitgate because we were tired of the fact that Call of Duty and Halo suck now. Like,
And people were
Bro
mad at
was
him for
wild.
wearing like a "Make FPS Great Again" hat.
yeah.
And the
But did he
costume-
We're gonna be talking about
really?
that on my
Yeah.
show tomorrow, actually.
He apologized for the pricing of the game because apparently Splitgate 2 is egregiously expensive. So they're listening to players, they reduced the prices, and they said, "Look, keep giving us feedback. We're happy to listen." But he did not budge on the hat, which I don't care.
And Homo ass Paul Tassi wrote an entire ass article yesterday, all at say spaghetti that he didn't apologize for the hat. Yeah, we'll be covering
Well,
that
that's
on
just Paul
Catcast
Tassi.
tomorrow.
That's Paul
Fun.
Tassi.
Yeah, Paul Tassi is just like a dick sucker for Bungie.
Paul
When
Tassi
he,
is such a bitch.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
is.
I can't say anything good about him, unfortunately, because I don't really care because he's a journalist. But yeah, I don't like him a bit. Mercenary again for 2. I blame Archie for office politics with Penders.
No. Okay.
You guys would know more than I do.
Read that again. What did that say?
I blame Archie for office politics with Penders.
I'm gonna blame Sega.
I'll
more.
let you take it first.
So when the lawsuit was happening, Sega believed that they were in such a good position that Penders would just lose automatically. So they didn't even bring evidence to the court. So Penders won
Well, to be fair,
because
some of that was on Archie, not Sega. So Archie is still a comic book company, and Archie needed to have their contracts in line to show that he was work for hire and not a direct employee. And they didn't have the contracts, and then they went to a second hearing, which they displayed the contracts, but Penders said they photoshopped those. They forged his signature that it's not true. And it became a their word against his sort of thing. It actually, if I recall, because it was their word against his, it got settled out of court, and they gave him basically his way.
yeah, which in
That's
turn turned Sonic from the competent franchise it was to the literal shit show it was for like 15 years.
Yeah, it was rough.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. War Turkey iffy for 5. Doesn't a lot of what makes a nuke so deadly is the massive wave of heat it causes, not just the explosion? I think that with a nuke, it comes with the aftershock, and that's also what's probably most
Oh,
deadly.
yeah, there's a lot of variables. You got aftershocks, you got radiation, you got heat, you got the explosion itself, you've got concussive waves. Like there's layers to what makes nukes so fucking deadly.
Pick
But
one.
to be fair,
Yeah.
all explosions are deadly. Gas explosions, fucking hand grenades with a shrapnel. Your best bet to living a long and happy life is just don't get caught up in an explosion.
Yeah.
Pretty
And
much
also,
stay away from a
don't,
city.
Don't talk to pretty women at the
Stay
club
away
if
from
you've had
LA.
a few drinks.
Yeah, especially
and
stay from
Chirac.
LA. Oh yes. Let's see. Eric Jenkins for $4.99. MommaOcco tax, and Leon. I'm not gonna say it, but you know what I want to call you.
Do you know what he wants to call us all?
I don't
Do
think
you?
Temp knows. Well, yes, I'm
I
pretty
don't
sure I
know.
do. Yeah.
But I'm ignorant.
Monkey.
Oh.
That's yeah. Eric Jenkins calls everyone. He's a black dude, but he calls everyone, regardless of their race, monkeys.
I see.
I
see.
am to him. I am to quote him, an albino monkey.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. And then lastly, Sly for 5. Quick question before wrapping up: Jack and Daxter or Ratchet and Clank? I'm a Ratchet and Clank guy.
Jack and Daxter. Jack and Daxter is my favorite PS2 franchise. Like PS2 exclusive franchise. Jack and Daxter. I love Ratchet and Clank. I do, but god damn, I love Jack and Daxter, and it's a damn shame Naughty Dog's in the position it's in, because I would love a revival of Jack and Daxter, but I don't trust Naughty Dog.
I don't trust Naughty Dog
No.
because they become the Marvel machine. But if Sony were to
Yeah,
ever
I
give
don't
us
think
the
it's
Ratchet and Clank
worse than that,
collection or the future collection on Steam, day one, I'd be there.
You think so?
Absolutely. Ratchet and Clank
Fair enough.
it may be simple, silly storytelling, but they're really good.
They're great games. Like again, while I like Jack and Daxter better, I'm a fan of both. I love both. Ratchet and Clank Going Commando is like that's top 5 PS2 games for me. But like Jack 1 and Jack 2 are both top 5, and then you got Going Commando, and there's probably gonna be a couple others in there. But like I love both. But Jack and Daxter, I think it's my. I think it tells a bit better stories, and it's less about the gunplay and more about other mechanical things that I just like a little bit more. But yeah, I love both.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. We did just get one more, and then I'm gonna cap it off, chat. So if you keep sending them, you might just don't send them anymore, because we're gonna end off here. And then I'm gonna raid Celeste, because Medicare looks like he's pretty much done. So he started and stopped in the middle of my stream, which is kind of funny. When we raid Celeste, she is the nice Christian, so don't go screaming in her chat. She's cool, she's chill. But lastly, Mercenary for 5 says, I'm originally from LA, and you have to understand, to see live streams of Randy's Donuts with all the writers that was near where I used to live. Yeah, that's definitely really crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen any of the riots going on, Leon? I'm curious.
Oh, dude, I don't know if we're gonna talk about it on my show or not, but I watched a lot of the footage last night and earlier today. Yeah.
And notice how there's
What do you-
all the bricks set up.
Are you hoping that the people are wanting the Marines now? It's getting that bad.
That'd be bad if we got the Marines, because that means American soldiers on American soil.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should just sort of excommunicate California. Just build a wall around it. We don't even really need that shit. Hollywood sucks nowadays anyway. They're shitting on the streets. You take a wrong one step barefoot, and you've got fucking AIDS because of the dirty ass needles and shit. Just we don't even need that state.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I could say that we could deal without Chicago too, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, chat, thank you so much for coming around tonight, and Leon, thank you as well for coming around. I deeply appreciate it. Would you like to shout yourself out?
Around, let me know.
Yeah, for sure. Would you like to shout yourself out before we let people go?
Yeah, by all means, go on over to my channel, Words of Paradise. I know my name's Leon. I don't like the stuff on the screen, but like my channel is Words of Paradise. I cover pop culture through a political lens, anime, movies, music, Magic the Gathering, video games, the whole nine. I cover everything. Just whatever's interesting to me at the time. I do live streams multiple times a week. MommaOcco's been on several. Hopefully Temp will be on some pretty soon as well. And then tomorrow is my Monday show, my panel show. Is at 6:00 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7:00 Eastern. That is 4:00 Avocado time. And yeah, just I would love it if you guys showed up. We have a good time. We're unfiltered. We say the F word that rhymes with maggot a lot. And we're just riding this wave till YouTube eventually kicks us off. So
There you go.
that's me. Thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And as always, chat, you know where you can find Temp as well. Help him get to 500 so that he can play Scary Game.
Yep, chat again. Join the Discord. Follow me on YouTube. Trying to hit 500 subs. Promise to play Resident Evil 7 for the first time with that. So if you want to get me there and see me absolutely shit my pants in horror, there you go.
Well, there you go. All right, I'm gonna raid out to Celeste over on YouTube and Twitch now.
Oh, on Twitch? Okay, then I will
Both of
probably
them.
raid.
Have a good night, chat. We will
Probably
see you on Wednesday for Hump Day.
Bye, chat. See you on Wednesday for Repo.
Deuces.
Okay.
I'm still alive because I'm still raiding.
If you die by normal means, like, you know,
All right, chat. I will see you all on Wednesday. You all have a wonderful night. Have a good one.